He's been away. Yay! Miz is back. Woo.
Anyway, so we'll try again.
Oh my god!
Perfect
Really? Well, look at the bright side. They didn't get to hear that fucked up intro.
They didn't get to hear the fucked up intro.
Do it right
because every time, it's just a little, you know, seeing how long it takes chat. I wondered if chat would just sit there and listen to the whole thing silent.
Pro stream.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another professional Asylum podcast for Star Citizen that we do every week, and yet we still can't get it right.
Professional podcast.
Wait.
The royal we, that is. So yeah, good evening, everyone. Welcome. Today we are joined by the usual Mr. Little Bit of Madness, Mr. HCVertigo, and some other people also known as SuperMacBrothersryan, and the one and only pub landlord, Mr. TheAstroPub.
Woohoo! That's true.
Don't run up a tab in my bar. That's all I'm going to say.
That's all you're going to say.
Shit, there's a tab. I thought the drinks were free. Oh, I've just been sitting in the corner just drinking. Mind you, I just get the dregs, so it's fine.
Yeah, you just drink, and then suddenly, like 3 months later, it's like, hey, you got to pay for all of those 7,000 drinks you just drank. Wait, they're not free? No, it's a bar. What do you think?
Take a shit.
I just gave you.
How badly do we think? I honestly think that the 600i should have come with Paul scanned in. He should be scanned in. He should be the bar guy.
He should be like a holographic.
Behind it.
You can never leave.
Never leave. Clean the bar forever.
That's Paul scanned in.
It'd be pretty cool if it was just like his top half as like a holographic thing come up from the computer console or something just behind the bar.
There you go. Just have like a little Roomba.
Yeah.
There was a movie recently I watched with Chris Pratt, I think it was.
Passengers.
Passengers, yeah, and they had the bartender was kind of on like kind of.
I was just thinking that as well.
I was like, that would have been Paul. That's you. That would be.
I think we should have Paul in a kilt above the upskirt window, right underneath that bar.
You're obsessed with kilts and tan. It's just constant.
But how I was saying that, I've just started watching Altered Carbon. I don't know if anyone here's seen Altered Carbon yet.
Any good?
So, yeah, very good. Yeah, good. And there's a bit where they go to like an AI. They go to an AI hotel. Which is, and I was just thinking, but it's really cheap and no one ever goes there anymore and stuff. So I was thinking, Paul, that could be you as well. It could be
every sci-fi barman now. It's like that's Paul.
Yeah,
it's
why is Paul there?
Paul's gonna be like
just little, you know. But it's when you start pulls the gun out to protect the client. That's when I was like, yeah, that's definitely the AstroPub. It's like he's my guest now.
He's a paying customer.
I swear to God, honestly, CIG could have some serious fun with the. I know it sounds silly, but I honestly think that the CIG, with the community and the way it's kind of going, they could have real fun with us as individuals, and kind of if they know like individual people who've been around a long time and who've built the game, they could like throw bits of people like a lore and history into the game just for shits and giggles, and it would be hilarious if they did that with Paul, like a lore bit about like the fact that this certain bartender was like I don't know terrible or something, but it was like everyone they could only copy one bartender, and so Paul was the one that they copied, and he was like, and if you go to any dive bar across the deep darkest parts of the Paul's AI will be there.
Holographic bartenders are lost tech. What year in BattleTech is this?
It's just that they use my visage for the teaching all bartenders how to pour drinks. So when you go through drink pouring tutorial, like on the Mixmaster, my name might pop up like, hey. Yeah, so you want to make some drinks?
Like a really shitty, awkward advertisement for the video.
Yeah, exactly. Like the glitchy, kind of like Max Headroom, but like the glitchy guy from Back to the Future part 3 or part 2 in the like the 80s cafe. Where he's like, like they did the terrible AI like versions of like presidents and stuff like that. Like
stick it on a Starliner.
Yeah.
As you pop up, please settle back in your seats. And no, we will look after you.
Settle back in your seats,
Who's going to do the safety video? Will that be Madness?
No, would it be Vertigo? Because Vertigo's visage is known for being a mass murderer.
Holy shit! Yes. Like, okay. In my defense, my chat made me do it.
How was that a defense?
That's what they all say.
No, I get
You know,
that
the
one.
Nazis tried that. The Nazis tried that. It didn't work very well.
Chat made me do it.
Chat made me do it.
Jesus.
Oh.
It was the voices in my chat room that was telling me to murder everybody at All-Star. Apparently, the one dude we sacrificed at Levski. Sorry, it's Webski now. I made
Webski. How is Webski?
I have it. I have a speech impeachment, so it turned into Webski. And nobody. I swear to God, you say it once and they don't let go.
Webski.
Webski. Webski.
There's Wabbits on the Webski.
So we killed one person at Webski, and then everybody's like, you know, that's not enough. You need to go to All-Star. Like, okay, let's go to Grimhex and kill some people over there. Like, no, you got to go to All-Star. you got to kill them. Like, okay, fine. So we go to All-Star. And we like. I loved how it turned out. I go to A Strat. I kill everybody at A Strat. There's like 5 people are standing around the port terminal, and I start just going from strut to strut to strut, killing people. And you start seeing in chat pop up, why are there so many corpses at All-Star? Where all these corpses come from? And I'm just like, I'm holding my gun. I'm like, I wonder.
You know what's interesting is your timing of that couldn't be perfect because calling out devs is all about griefing.
Yeah.
Like,
You started that whole thread on Space.
Yeah, that's
It's
probably
also
called
the second highest upvoted.
Can we
post
ban
on
Vertigo?
subreddit it's pretty much it's basically like I'm tired of getting killed by camping griefers at Grimhex. It's like they're not even complaining about the people glitching into the armistice zones with weapons. They're just caring about people standing outside of the
armistice zones, the airlocks.
The airlocks, and just shooting people as they leave. And it's like I can't remember. The first thing that popped in my head is your whole thing about like don't go through Mogadishu as a fucking day trip. Don't go to Grimhex if you don't want to get shot, you know?
Yeah. Well, in defense of some of these people complaining about it, like Grimhex has this nasty if you die at Grimhex, you respawn at Grimhex. Like, well, you know, good luck getting out now.
Yeah, and isn't it also a bit like when you're inside the
way.
airlock and it opens, there's not much chance you're going to get to be the first person to shoot compared to the person camping outside. Like, it's pretty hard to kill someone camping that.
There are also 3 ways in and out. Actually, 4 ways in and out.
Yeah, but Vertigo split himself into 4 ways, so he's got always covered. It's like, don't worry, I've got a bot there.
I'll let you know, I have the multi-form technique from Dragon Ball, so I'm camping all the exits.
The thing is, though, at Grimhex, though, you know that when you're going through an airlock to get your fucking weapon out, if you don't do it, you're only yourself to blame.
I mean, if not, you'll learn really quick. It'll smarten you up.
Or you get the thick ones
that'll smarten you up.
Don't learn very quick.
Let's backtrack this one just for madness a second, okay? So you're telling me now that Grimhex, I can now do quick draw again back in Grimhex again?
Yes.
Yes.
They lowered the armistice zone radius to inside Grimhex. So now the pads are free fire.
Yeah. As soon as you hit that airlock button to go outside,
you better quick draw.
Pull your gun.
Do you know what's going to happen? This is.
We already know it's happened. It's happening.
What's going to happen when Vertigo murders people?
This is my nightmare scenario. This is when I know I've lost all total respect for Spectrum. This is when somebody complains about griefing and people using the prospector to grief people in, because that's literally the end of all civilization. Is when someone's complaining. It's like griefing me in the prospector.
It's like a transformer. What was it like? What was that transformer that could combine together to make a bigger transformer? It's like all the whiners. The Desolator got together. All the whiners got together, and the Care Bears got together to make a giant whining Care Bear over the prospector. It's a fucking prospector. Anything can move faster than it.
Yeah, but if the laser kills people, doesn't it? So you could you could camp the Grimhex doors with the laser of the prospector. I'm just mining people. That's all I'm doing is I'm mining. It's not my fault.
My miserable. You have no idea what you've just done. I am now going to Grimhex, and I'm going to point that fucking laser at the exit to fucking the airlock, and I'm going to turn that fucker on.
Wait, you don't understand. You don't go on your own. You go with four friends
prospectors.
And you camp all 4 exits. And you just sitting there going, "Well, I'm just."
Listen, this is just a mischance for emergent gameplay. All you gotta do with those 4 friends and those 4 prospectors is anyone who complains about it say, "Hey, pay me money through the beacon system, and I'll let you in.
Oh my god!
But you have to pay me money. You can't escape Grimhex unless you pay the toll, and I will take you away from Grimhex.
It's like the opposite. Instead of being a pirate to stop people getting into Grimhex, it's just going to be like we're not letting anyone out. It's like just imagine a server full of Grimhex where everybody's stuck inside it and not getting out.
And all you need to do is just have one mate. You have 5, take a 5th person, just take 5 people if you really want to. Have another prospector just scanning around, and every time someone spawns a ship, just go. And literally, the most devastating weapon in Star Citizen is the prospector mining ship.
Then suddenly, it's not griefing. Then it's legitimate piracy. It is, I am taking money from people who are stupid enough to come into Grimhex.
But on that calling all devs thing, that's what they said there, how they define the difference between a griefer and a pirate. And they said, well, the pirate's doing it for money, and the griefer's just killing over and over. So exactly, all you have to do in chat is literally say once, pay me money or I'll kill you. And as long as no one doesn't pay you money, then you're no longer griefing. That's how you get out of it.
It's kind of like, pay me money, I can. It's not in the game yet. Oh, well, I tried.
No, it is in the game. Legitimately, you can do a kind of a one-time
beacon thing.
Oh, it's in the beacon
with the combat beacons. You can do the combat beacon, and
I can't get it to work.
So if you say, hey, you drop a combat beacon for 500 UEC, someone else accepts it. After a minute, they get paid that 500 UEC. You cancel it, and there's no ramifications, and that person gets 500 UEC. It's essentially like the roundabout way that they're allowing players to pay each other. So you just learned that.
Sounds legit. Yeah.
So I saw a thread on Spectrum and people complaining about the mass murderers at All-Star and Grimhex, and one of the responses it was a beautiful response was, you should thank that person for creating content for you.
I kind of agree. Yeah.
Making the game more interesting.
Yeah.
I remember seeing something on Facebook, just someone complaining about it, saying, "I'm just getting griefed." I didn't realise it was you, but fair enough. I was just like,
how did I know him?
Nice.
I had known better.
Oh god, no.
Oh man,
I didn't realise they'd rolled it back because I knew that you couldn't do it, and I was in there the other day. I was in there when we had the latest patch with all the new armor and stuff. So I popped in to have a little fly around in Hex and stuff, and just try out the new armor. I managed to kind of get somehow the the samurai one. I don't know. I need to try and find a picture, but it ended up turning into a huge dress.
Oh, I have that. Yes.
Yeah.
What
and
you
it had
should do.
pink arms and a tutu. I literally looked like I was just like, this is the one for me. I want this one. This is my outfit. A tutu.
It's supposed to be like a loincloth. Tutu is a loincloth.
It's that sort of outfit that if you do open the doors at Grimhex and you see that, you're just going to be trying to smack that button to get back inside.
I did like the pink armor for a little while. Yeah. The pink one.
Yeah.
It was a bit of fun. I should try.
Actually, at one point in the PTU, I walked into a airlock at Grimhex, and there were 5 people sitting in the airlock. Like I activated it to cycle it, and it cycled in, and so none of them had their guns out, but there were like 5 people just sitting there looking at each other. And they turned and looked at me, and I just hit the button again and walked away to another airlock.
You should have whipped out your shotgun.
Nope. Oh man, it's like Paul said, it has been immensely fun in 3.2. Mining's actually entertaining if you like the more slower burn kind of, watch the meter, make sure this meter, we're gonna have a nuclear explosion, get that energy part, and then poof, it throws out more rocks, and it's like, a success. Amazing. Yeah. Or you could just be an asshole and just run over to your friend's rock, zap it with 100%, and then watch it blow stack pull. If you're into battle, if you know battle tech terminology.
I feel I need to clip you with the success bit. What you just did then, HC, so that I can have that bit. Every time I do a proper mine and it explodes. Yay!
Happy little flowers.
Happy little rocks.
This is going to bring me to that moment every time.
Enjoy.
Okay, here's my thing about mining. Okay, so mining is one of those things that realistically, if that was a job, it would get pretty repetitive. It would probably dull. It would be pretty dull. Anyway, it's a real job. The thing that would make it fun is probably the people that are with you doing it. It's dangerous. Obviously, it's pretty dangerous. Obviously, mining. So that's I guess that's the kind of thrill of it, which is kind of what it is at the moment. it's kind of dangerous because if it does blow up in your face, it pretty much destroys you. But I was like, I hear people like, I think Matt, you were talking about fun, and you were kind of saying, oh, how do we make mining fun? But then you did ask the question, is like, how do we make mining fun? Like, how do you make something that's quite a repetitive action? And I was just curious, is like, how do you do it? I mean, at the moment, it's all just single player based, so that's kind of sucks. But I mean, how would you make it fun?
It's one of those things that you do it for about an hour, or not an hour, for about 15, 20, 30 minutes, and it's kind of fun at the
60
time.
minutes.
But then it gets 60, but then it gets a bit frustrating. But then the next day, you're like, or later on in the day, you think, oh, I want to mine again. And it's kind of, you have that draw to do it again, but you don't want to do it for consistent amounts of time because it does get boring. Even though they've really done something great with it, it's not a simple click and hope. It does take time, it takes effort and skill, which is what I've said, but it can get frustrating and it definitely will get boring. I don't know what more they're going to bring on other than the obvious sort of weather, different terrain, attacks by aliens or AI. That sort of things will make it more interesting. But I do like the generic, just constant, like if you can just set it going and know it's going to be safe and just grind away while you're doing other things on your mobiglass or in your ship, I think that might be quite fun. But I don't know how to make it fun.
Like
the
thing is, like, this is an MMO. It seems like Chris Roberts wants to make a somewhat kind of sandboxy-ish MMO, and certain levels of fun are just not for certain people. Like there are some streamers I watch who just do nothing but cargo runs. That's all they do, and they love doing the numbers, figuring out how to make a cargo run that's not only profitable, but they don't have a dead leg in the run. They go from point A to point B, and then they're going to return back to point A, and they need to make sure that they always have the maximum amount of money out of every trip they're making. That way, they're always making money on every trip, and they min-max essentially their cargo runs that way, and that's what some people want. And I think mining doesn't exactly necessarily speak to maybe people like us, like a little bit of madness, like the PvP group of people who want to be in the lasers, the sabers and lasers kind of range.
Action.
Yeah, you want action all the time. Mining is more of like this kind of, I call it, I can't quite figure out a proper word for it, but I call it the Civ syndrome. The one more turn syndrome, or the one more rock. I just want to break one more rock. I want to see that number go up by 0.5%. I want to see that nice little explosion of rocks. I want to have that nice little fanfare of success, the happy little sound, kind of like Peggle or Candy Crush. I'm sorry, it really does. Those are some of the most basic games you can have, and they really, those games really kind of hinge on the fanfare of success.
It's the dopamine. Yeah. It's the little hit of dopamine. The little woo. I got that little hit. Ooh, let's do it again.
Yeah.
Ooh, another little hit of dopamine.
And there is something on the line. There is your ship on the line. Your ship can be sniped by someone else coming in, NPC, a player, an alien creature, as you said. So there is something on the line. You can make it easier on yourself by finding easier minerals to mine, like aluminum on Yella is actually super easy. Like you just pretty much, it's almost mindless how easy mining like the really low level minerals like quartz and aluminum. Like you have no instability in the rock, you have no resistance in the rock. You just pretty much set your power at one level, you press go, and then you throttle back once it gets in the green zone, and you just wait essentially for the rock to break. And then you get like diamond and acetine and some of the more unstable minerals on Daymar. When you hit those rocks, it's like you really have to be paying attention because you got a tiny little green band to hold your power level in, and then you constantly have your power energy jump, a couple degrees.
Yeah, that's what's frustrating at the moment, isn't it? Is the sort of lag spikes you get where you think you've got it all right, and then all of a sudden the lag spike will come in, and you're way into the red.
Yeah, that comes to the desync with the rock instability. If you find a more stable rock, a rock with like an instability of like 0.05, like you don't have that. You have that. You have none. But if you're mining a rock with like an instability level of like 0.9, that hits you really hard.
Here's the question too: do you think they should do it so that depending on the stability of the rock should depend on the amount of reward you get? So the more unstable, the massive reward you get because it's so much harder to break it open.
I would say, excuse me, I would say part of the fun of mining is actually discovering the rock that has what you want in it. You have to fly around, look at many different rocks, and you have to find like, okay, this rock has 20% quartz. Quartz is kind of cheap, but at 20% is really good. This rock over here has 5% diamond, but 10% quartz, but I'm losing a bit of diamond. Maybe I can find an 8% platinum over there. Or, here's one with 20% gold. I'm done. Like, that's amazing. I'm mining this rock. And then you call your buddy and said, hey, I need some fire support because I got some really nice rocks over here. That kind of stuff. Yeah. So I think part of it is the Easter egg hunt of finding that one rock that has the really cool stuff that you need to mine.
Yeah,
I don't think it should be guaranteed every time.
I agree with you as well. I think it is. It's down to it's either going to be the sort of gameplay that you're interested in or not. It's the same as like Euro Truck Simulator. It's like it appeals to a certain clientele of people, and they're the ones that are focused on it. And people that want a different style of gameplay are not gonna, like, you know, you get someone that loves FPS every day. They're not gonna go and play Euro Truck Sim and say, "Oh, this is fantastic." They're just not. So it is that. And then so what you got to do is how you make that part exciting for the people that enjoy that element. And I know that in like EverQuest 2, they had, so for the crafting, so it's a very similar thing. You're just watching this bar go up, and the more it was in like 4 stages, and the higher it got, the better quality item you made. And what they did was like they threw random events in there. So as you were going up, you had to press certain buttons to counteract those events. And I wonder if they could do something like that for mining, and maybe that will happen because they did mention something like that in like bigger asteroids or something. So if they added a way so that if a certain, this could be what someone else does on like a bigger mining ship, is like having something that will counteract certain events that come up. So if you hit a gas pocket, you might have to use a certain controller within your mining ship to counteract that and keep balancing it that way. I suppose that would be to make it fun to those people that like that sort of gameplay.
Well, I heard a rumor that refining is going to be a mini game in itself. The Orion refining operator is going to have to do something. I'm not quite sure what.
I mean, each operator in the Orion will have its own, very much like the mining thing, its own sort of extendable version of each section of what the prospector does. But I think like what we will find is when each mechanic starts coming in, like the salvage, the bounty hunting, every other mechanic, you will find some people will obviously go or favor others over others, because like mining isn't going to be for everyone. Like you were saying before, for people like yourself who like a bit more action, people aren't going to like it. And it doesn't have to be fun for everyone, just fun for those who appreciate like that type of gameplay. Yeah. And it's we're going to find that with a lot of mechanics, I think, is not everyone's going to take to certain things. And it's not a case of trying to make it fun for everyone. It's trying to make it a decent, robust system that makes sense.
Well, it's pointless making it fun for a fighter, isn't it, when they're not the ones that are going to be using it. So
yeah. You're not trying to dodge the rocks, although that would be quite a fun.
Mining in a moving asteroid field as you're like.
Something I have found though about this. Sorry, Vertigo, I'll just finish.
Go ahead, keep going.
Something I do like about the mining aspect, and that I've just discovered today, is that it's not a case of just finding a rock and then mining it, and then finding another rock and mining it. You actually have to pick the rocks, and you could spend a long time trying to find a rock with a higher percentage mass of mineral. Or you could just settle on a smaller one. You have to look around to get the best out of it, which is really cool.
So I do want to interrupt just a little bit, just because I was going through some stuff real quickly, and I saw the weirdest tweet that the coincidence is way too high. So Zockley, does anybody else here know Zockley?
Yes.
He's he does a lot of content creation. He's the one of the guys behind
Space Engineers,
specifically Space Engineers. Yeah. Well, he apparently was hiking a glacier in New Zealand, and he ran into Zane Bien.
Really? The UI guy?
The UI manager for Star Citizen. He did a picture of him.
What?
Bumped into him hiking a glacier in New Zealand.
As you do.
That's fucking weird.
All right.
It's just weird, like, oh, wow. Okay.
They definitely got a selfie, correct?
Yeah, yeah. They posted on.
I'm looking at it right now.
Twitter. Yeah, I just retweeted it.
I'll do it too.
How the fuck does that even happen?
It's a small world. It's a small world for stalkers. Is all I'm going to say.
It's a small world. It's a small world if you live in New Zealand.
Wow. Okay. Good stuff. Not creepy at all, is it?
This is
I'm
Chris.
trying to get away from you, fucking weirdos.
Yeah, it's like, and this is me with Chris Roberts just walking around the park. And this is me, Chris Roberts, in his bathroom. It's like, what are you doing?
It would be like me running into madness in Russia. Like we just both happen to be in some small podunk town in the middle of Russia. Oh, just me and madness here. Somehow we decided to go at the same place at the same time. You know?
The world cup going on is quite likely.
Shrine in his bedroom.
Oh man.
Sign this poster for me. Right. Anyway, that's really that is. It's to be fair though. It's like when I'm in London, and London obviously is X number of millions of people, and I'm going up the escalator, and then you kind of bump into, you see somebody you know, and there's this kind of weird moment of kind of like, firstly, this kind of the moment of, oh my God, I know that person. Then it's like, do I make a scene? Yeah, it's like, do I make a scene, or do I kind of, and then you kind of make eye contact, then you kind of like, all right, okay, then you have to make that awkward kind of like, and then there's the bit where you think, do they remember me as well? It's like,
and then you remember you're on the escalator and you've just passed each other anyway, so it doesn't matter. So it doesn't matter.
I mean, they suddenly realise, and then it's like, God. Oh, how are you? Yeah, I'm good. You good? Yeah. That's it. That's it. Oops.
Oh my God.
What is weird though is I bumped into Manchester on, what was it, like the 24th of April or something this year. He said he was attending something like Britism, I don't know what it was, but it was so weird that we would both be at the same event at the same time. And it's just weird.
Hang on a minute, guys. Let me just get rid of his camera. It's all right.
Don't do anything you'll regret. You'll never get it back again.
Just making a note of this individual. This is definitely stalking. He's definitely on the watch list. So Paul, what's your thoughts on mining? Because you haven't, because you're distracted. What's your thoughts on mining? How do you find mining? Do you think it's good? Do you think if you had to improve mining going forward, what would you do? And I'll actually put that to everybody as well in chat. If you had one thing you needed to improve mining, what would you do for the next patch?
I don't think they'll improve it in the next patch, but when they get to it, one of the things I would do is remove the rocks and make the planet itself put sections of the planet itself having mineable. So instead of like finding a rock and being like, ooh, I'm gonna burn this rock and then it's gonna blow up and be like a little yay, and then I'm gonna go collect the rocks and I have to continue to do that. Instead, you can find surface rocks, but if you have a better scanner, you can find deeper rocks, like entire deposits, and then you have to actually dig down, angle down your laser and carve out a little area, or set it to a certain same kind of concept where you have to make sure it's the same frequency of the same power.
No Man's Sky.
That is the intention,
or Space Engineers, or
with the kind of the way that the kind of thing
I think that is the intention. That is part of the plan for the future, is to be able to scan because when you go and buy a plot of land, you're not just going to be looking at surface rocks, are you?
Yeah,
you're going to be scanning the actual underground.
From my understanding, surface rocks was kind of the way to go forward. I don't know if they're going to have you point a laser, like Paul said, you point a laser and you carve out a chunk of land. I figured the landscape is going to be fairly unchangeable, fairly static, and you're going to be putting mining facilities on discolored patches of ground to suck up stuff. Yeah. And then the real big fanfare is going to be the asteroid mining, where you're literally going to be breaking asteroids apart.
Well, with that then, because the problem with breaking an asteroid apart is that when you're breaking an asteroid apart that's 4 times the size of Port Olisar, how the fuck are you going to break little pieces apart off of it and then continue to mine it?
From my understanding, they were going to do voxel technology for their asteroids.
They've stepped back from voxels and said that they're not going to be doing voxels. So my thought is, what I would like them to do is something like what they're going to do with asteroids, which I'm guessing is going to be, you can break off pieces of it, but instead of having just a giant, this asteroid is now, you can break pieces off of it and suck it up, is going onto this planet's surface, just like that, except for you place a piece of the ground with an asteroid, essentially. It would just be the same kind of concept, where you'd have a big boulder sticking out of the ground, and then as you mine it, you could blow off chunks and chunks, and it would get further and further down into the earth, and maybe snake around a little bit like that.
Yeah. Would they ever then repair that after you've if you're making loads of holes everywhere? Would it?
Didn't they say that things will regenerate over time, a bit like fauna? Okay. It will, or flora, sorry. Over time, it will just replenish itself, but it will take certain time depending on the environment and the minerals. You won't just be yay, go back down. But what I would like to see, and this is probably going to be disagreed with a lot, is just more easier, simpler types of mining where you can just sort of put it on the go, because you did say that you will be able to just mine and leave it mining, but you will run the risk of going out of the thing. But being able to just set things mining and step away, because the problem that I find about mining right now, which is it's cool in what it is, but you don't get to enjoy the environment because you're too concentrated on making sure you don't go, you're within the threshold.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to have something a lot simpler, I know you could probably mine simpler minerals, and I'm sure we'll get a bigger variation of minerals as time goes on, where the threshold's a lot wider. But being able to sit there and just enjoy mining in the different night times of day, in different weathers, and just experience the whole environment rather than constantly 100% concentrating on what you're doing.
Basically, being able to get out of the seat, set the mining laser at a power, get out of the seat, and just have a crack a cold one while you're watching the sunset. So being backlit by the mining laser. I like that idea.
Yeah, exactly how I was thinking it. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I look at it as like auto mining, but it's dangerous because they did say, didn't they? They did say that they didn't want to do that. However, you could do a situation where you have obviously your NPC does the mining for you.
Yeah.
So he sits there and you can say, hey.
That changes the effect of you standing there, then going and cracking a cold one while you're mining. Someone else is doing it, so you might as well not be there in the first place.
You can have your kid do it.
The cold one.
Cracking the cold one.
You can just hey kid, hey boy, come here, boy. I need you to boy. Boy, sit at my computer. I need you to make sure you mine this rock.
You just need a brick and some sellotape.
Don't call his son a brick.
Done.
Don't call his son a brick. I mean, he's getting through. He's getting better.
That is just like Gran Turismo, though, where you have the fucking rubber band and something weighty to sit on it so you can grind around the outside of the endurance race.
Yeah.
Sounds like such fun gameplay.
You just need to grind.
I don't like the idea of auto mining. Now, I do like the idea of breaking what we currently have up into separate different roles. Like, that's the big thing I expect going forward, is that this is kind of the established. We're not going to see much difference like from this. We may see bigger rocks to mine, and we may see, and we're eventually going to see asteroids. But the big part from this is to break it up for having a laser operator who's fracturing the rock, and their job is to fracture the rock, but they may not have the little bars. There may be somebody else who's like looking at the fracture rate and saying, hey, up 2%, down 2%. Something that's less sensitive as it is now, where like one little tap and you're something like gonna blow the damn thing up because you went from 31% to 31.10%. Something that goes through the roof.
Yeah.
And then separate extractors, people who are actually like extracting, pulling it into the bay, and then people who are actually sifting through and being like, all right, we're taking that rock out, taking this that kind of stuff. That sort of system.
I can imagine some of these Orion captains are going to be absolute douchebags to work for. Like,
I would be if I was an Orion captain.
I just like 0.01%, and then you nuke like a laranite deposit. Like, there is the whole reason why we came out here, you son of a bitch. Yeah. I'm not gonna fire you. I'm gonna throw you into the grinding thing, and
it just makes me think. I one time I took like a job as working in the recycling place. We know where they get all the skips, and then they just drop all the trash. And you just sit there and literally sift through it all. It's the most boring fucking job ever. So I can just imagine that as being one of the roles in your run. This is fun. Yeah, that bit's good. That bit's shit. That bit's good. You just sit there all day, just churning through. Yeah, this is my gameplay. I could actually get paid in real life for this, but no, let's sit there and sift through mining rocks.
Well, I've just linked. Sorry, man. I've just linked the mining design notes, which is what they have planned for the multi-crew mining, which is going. It's kind of what Paul was on about, is having different people like the pilot, scan operator, beam operator. They're all going to have different roles, and it is hopefully going to be engaging enough so that you want to enjoy it. But I know something that I want to do is, as if I did own an operator, an Orion, is have like a switch around. So every so long, everyone circles into a different role, so you're not all doing the same shit.
Musical chairs. Bing, everybody change, please.
Has everyone just seen the exothermic reaction detector on that link? It's the Fuse logo.
It is the Fuse logo. Oh, damn. And so is the laser seismographer and the analytical materials processor.
Yeah. I wonder where was it Sol? I wonder where he got his inspiration from.
Maybe.
Um,
Great minds think
so-
alike is the best way to look at it.
Yeah.
but looking at this document, it's kind of what I said. You're going to have one person who's in charge of reading the temperature of the rock to make sure the fracture. That's the exothermic reaction detector, and the laser seismometer is the person who is literally also doing is making sure that the laser is set at the right. And we even can kind of see that in the prospector. You can actually see the power levels of the laser.
Yeah.
Versus. And then the analytical materials processor is the person who will go through and make sure that they clear out all the rock, and then cargo operator and refinery operator, yeah. So, but what I was going to say is that you got to understand that mining is also not just kind of a job to do. Mining will be a job that someone does. Like if you want to be mining, you're going to go all in on mining. It's going to the mechanics behind mining could make up their own game.
I hope they do. I hope
salvage,
they
same
And they take it out of status.
cargo,
No, it's true. Each mechanic is going to be something that is engaging and something that the people who enjoy that will want to keep playing and keep doing.
Mm-hmm.
I will dabble in it, but what the fuck are you doing with my camera?
Nothing.
I'll dabble in it, but I won't like stick to it. I won't be doing it 100% of the time. It'll be something that I think, right, I've got like a few minutes to kill or an hour to kill. I'm gonna go off. I'm gonna mine some money. Money. Now there's a mineral you could find.
Money. The money trees.
Just
And
literally
AUEC
money in a rock.
The money rocks.
The money trees.
Yeah,
It
you know what
doesn't
you'll
make much
find?
money.
It'll be alpha UEC. If you know.
It'll only be down on Webski.
It doesn't make much
Website.
money though, does it? Mining at the moment. Do you think that they'll make
No,
it?
actually, mining makes pretty
Quite
good if you
It
can find the right
does.
rocks.
It's pretty
This-
okay.
As typical, this is my experience with the Stressors community. They take one shot at it, see that they
It's
don't
crap.
make a lot of money on it,
Yeah.
and they say it's crap. I'm done. I give a shit. I give up. This is sucks. It's like when they change the
Naming no
cargo
names.
mechanics.
Naming no
Jason
names,
Cargo
man.
mechanic.
Madness. Naming no names, madness.
Plus,
It's crap, but make no money on it.
it's
Build my
also
front of
like
my ship and don't do it
the
again.
single player. It's like an Aurora that's not going to make you much cash when you do cargo run on it. It's a beginner starter profession thing. So just yep.
Widow. You can haul
I'm
Widow
not
and
saying-
make some money. On a
I'm not
rock.
saying you can't make any money. I'm saying you're going to make obviously a lot less compared to even just a freelancer or a cutlass that can fill up there.
Well, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just interrupting you.
That's my point. Is that I think a lot of people will take one look at the basic stuff and be like, "This is shit. I'm done. I'm not going to do it." But if you can, and these do exist, you can find high percentage deposits of decent to very valuable material. Means that you can make anywhere from several thousand to tens of thousand, like 10,000 or more AUEC in one run.
I think my best run was 1,300, and that was like 20% quartz and like 10% diamond. Out of
This is
3,200
what
units.
I was saying about the whole density of the rock. Like instead of going and just finding the first rock and mining it, which I think most of us pretty much did, without really engaging too much into the information you get. If you see anything that's like less than 8%, what I've found today is that it's not worth mining.
You were
Like,
mining
I mined
0.5%.
0.52, yeah. It's like I made about 150 odd UEC on gold, and it took me about 3 hours. And it didn't take that long, but it was just a pain in the ass. So it is about exploring and looking around.
That's
Yeah,
the skill
like,
part.
there's-
That's the skill
Yeah,
part.
that's the
right?
skill
bit
part,
where you
actually looking for it.
experience.
And
That's
buying
just
better
good.
scanners, and I presume upgrading.
Hey?
like,
Oh, yeah,
upgrading
I'm
your
assuming it's gonna be
equipment.
Now, I want to point out the
Upgrading,
latest
yeah.
patch. They actually took away the ability for most ships to actually identify what minerals are in the rocks. Like I can no longer do that in the Eclipse. I used to be able to do that in the last patch, but in the new J patch they have, I can no longer take my Eclipse or any combat fighter up to a rock. I can still identify rocks, but I can't go up to the rock, go to scanning mode, and look at the rock and see what kind of minerals inside of it. Only a prospector can do that now.
And that's only in mining mode, isn't it? Once you hit M.
Yes.
Because I thought that. I don't think you can do it with your scanner.
You can do it with the scanner. You could do it with the scanner. You could go up with just a scanner if you got close enough, and it would ping it, and it'd be like, but it wouldn't tell you the exact amount. It would say
They give you a range.
4% to 30% titanium. But if you're in a mining mode, if you're in the mining mode in a prospector, it'll tell you the exact amount that was in there.
Yeah.
It doesn't. The rock doesn't go yellow, does it? If you're in scanning mode, it's just only
No.
when you're in them.
No, you just have a little bar that's like.
It only goes yellow in mining mode.
Okay,
If you're just
for the sake of the argument beforehand, then I'll just say I was talking about that. Just the rock.
So,
Yeah.
Okay.
so here's
So
my
you're not
thing.
wrong?
Do you think that we'll be able to do
Nailed it,
mining
Mac.
beacons? Mining beacons, where you'll be able to say, for example, you have a mate in an F-50 with a great scanner or whatever, Herald or whatever, and he can literally go bombing around planets going, oh, found a fantastic rock, mining beacon. Boop,
That would
Why
be
not?
cool.
I mean, that's just a personal beacon, isn't it?
another one. And then you can send it to your
100%.
mates, and they'll go do it.
100%, I believe that's the idea. That's the like right now they have these little like mini satellites that you do for missions. I can they're
Probes.
small enough that they're about the same as the box. Yeah, but you can also do them
Yeah.
for like
Mining probes.
just mining. You just use those as mining probes. You just get.
They actually have those for
How
beacons. For wrecked
about
beacons.
what about like mining drones? So while someone's mining something, you could someone in the back can control drones to go around and scan
There's
rocks.
the
That'd be kind
Orion?
of cool.
The Orion comes with mining
The
drones.
drones as well. Yeah, I didn't know whether they were going to mine though, or whether they would just be like scanning drones. Just
Do
like
you
to
know what? I
scan
think
with.
I think the Prospector should have one on the back or attached.
Drones.
Yeah, but you can't
Should have
because
a
it's a
drone.
single. If they had it a two-seater, yeah, it could give someone something else to do.
I thought it had
but
3 seats.
The
It's not
Prospector,
actually
bed
no,
in a
it's
seat.
a single
No, it's only
seater.
one seat.
Prospector, no.
Ah.
Bed in a
You're
seat.
thinking of the
What-
Vulcan.
What
Was it
would
the
be
Vulcan?
cool? What would be cool to do is
Yeah.
to have a mining drones that you could put in the back of like a freelancer, and then just
Yeah.
turn your freelancer into a miner by just shoving the drones out and then remote controlling them from the freelancer to go.
Well, you just
mine
have-
stuff.
Your mate. You could have your mate. So you just have your mate in a freelancer. So your mates, because this is about again creating that gameplay where you've got the one person who's running a prospector, and then your mate's in a freelancer with the drones, and he's kind of like scouting the land for you to mine, and he takes a percentage of the cut of how much
Yeah.
you make for that day, and then you just split it between you, and you just say, okay, well, and that way you're efficient, fast, you got protection. That's the way I'm kind of looking at it, and I hope they can upgrade. I hope they also make it so that certain rocks require certain types of attachments to the laser as well. So you can't have just one laser that mines everything. You have to
that would
have
be cool.
different specific like attachments. Like you have it like for drills, you have different drill bits in order to drill through different types of rock. Or they have like diamonds or whatever. It would be kind of cool if they had, you could upgrade your laser or whatever to be able to.
Yeah, you
mine
need a
things.
certain standard of laser to maybe mine diamond or to mine something of higher wealth. That would be
Does
cool.
it
Or I would
Does
prefer
it
to have it.
deteriorate the laser, by the way, at the moment?
I
Does
think
it actually deteriorate in quality?
Not at the moment, definitely not.
Not at the moment. It's not got HP on it.
No.
Do you
It
think
does.
I
I think
not
it
that I
may
know
have
of.
wear. I think it has
It
wear
will have
like
wear.
normal weapons and whatnot. I don't think it's actually a proper item
It has
just yet.
power because
Yeah.
sometimes it'll automatically cut off your laser. I think if you use too much power.
Yeah,
Um,
if you use it for too long, it'll just shut it off. Like a
Yeah.
weapon would, because
It'll
it's just,
overheat,
it's
right when you're close to the end, and it's like,
Yeah.
nah, bitch.
That's cool. But I was just curious if it actually took wear and tear, so that you effectively would have to take repair parts with you. Again, it's all about that next stage, which is the repairing and the salvage. You'd have to take extra bits for the to make it. Trying to think of ways to make that even more of a gameplay experience for the next iteration.
Well,
the
In
actual-
certain rocks, you actually have an instability rating and a resistance rating. On certain rocks, you actually have to crank the mining laser up to 100% to even get the bar to move. Even then, it starts moving really slowly. So if your mining laser wears to a certain percentage, like maybe 30%, suddenly you can't mine those rocks because even if you crank the laser up to 100%, you're still not putting enough out. You're still not putting enough power to the rock to actually get that bar to move. So I can
Two
see
people
gameplay like
actually
that.
mine it together. Yeah, I've actually seen that a couple times where there's some rocks you just need two prospectors to be hit at the same time.
Well, there is.
Because they can both register the heat, you can actually adjust your own laser to help with the other. So it may not be both at 100%, maybe one at 100 and one at 20, and then the 20 can like up or down their controls. So
When Madness was talking about more multiplayer gameplay with the freelancer. Don't forget that you're gonna have you're gonna be dropping your saddlebags, and then you'll have to have someone like a friend coming in and picking them up. But also, I'm sure that a few of us will hit that threshold a few too many times and slightly destroy our ship, which means that we would need a Vulcan to come and help us sort of repair it
Basically,
on the fly.
when you go mine, you're literally going to need a Vulcan to follow you, or it's not going to work.
You are the chap that I remember watching someone else mining, and then all of a sudden to my right comes
we
this
don't
fucking
we don't
prospector.
talk about that.
There was no slowdown. You're like, oh,
There is no
there's-
Vulcan that was going to
there's the
repair
moon.
me from that. that way.
Do you know what? Do you know I got the? Do you know what that was for me? It was like, you know, when you see the dog with the ears flapping and it's so excited because it's getting there, it's so happy, it's joining its friend, its best friend, and it's bombing across the middle. Suddenly it realizes it can't stop. It's just like, ah! And that's
It was like, Ryan,
I'm so happy.
Never mind.
Oh,
I literally had enough time to say, oh shit, that's close, and then it just went boom.
I mean, like with me in the Constellation back in like 3.0, like you actually had to plan your slowdowns. This was back before they increased the power of the retro thrusters. Beyond, if you were coming straight down on top of, like, going crazy Ivan, coming straight down on top of your waypoint on any planet, you had to start thinking about slowing down about 40 kilometers out. And if you weren't slowing down by about 30 kilometers, it didn't matter what you did in a Constellation. Nope. You were going to be smacking that planet. Man. And there's many times I was talking to my chat, like, oh, we're just talking up a storm, and I look over and it's 29, 28, 27. I'm just like, son of a bitch. And now you just now you're just along for the ride.
It's
well,
over.
the brakes are actually worse now again, I've noticed. This is an excuse.
Yes, that was exactly the brakes.
Yes,
worse.
the brakes.
But I was in an Avenger, and I was just approaching the mission, and I was about 2,000 out, and started slowing down, and it was just taking forever. I was like going from 300, and then I was approaching 200.
I can tell you what that is. I can tell you what that is. Did you have your afterburners on? You have a toggle for your afterburners, right?
No, I don't toggle it. I push to use. So when I let go, it no longer afterburns. Yeah. Okay. So for people that actually have toggle afterburners, if you leave your afterburners on and you cut your throttle, you'll start slowing down slower for some reason. I've noticed that. I don't know what the hell causes it, but as soon as you turn all your afterburners off and you cut your throttle, you start slowing down super fast. I noticed some ships have
toggle afterburn. Mm-hmm. It's in the game options menu.
That's dangerous as fuck.
Well, if you just want to go. If you want to go straight up, like if you have a long distance to travel straight up to get out of atmosphere, like it's great. You just pull back on your stick 90 degrees, throttle up to full, hit toggle afterburners, and then you can start drinking your beer. That's dangerous. In my hands.
Don't tell me that.
Hands,
yeah. Don't tell us these things.
And then it's like, there we go.
I mean, you want to make your streams more entertaining while playing Star Citizen. I mean, forgetting to turn afterburners off in a delicate situation. I just need to inch it forward. I just need to go forward a few meters to get on the landing pad. Whack!
You've been watching my streams. I mean, wow. The most important question about mining, though, is have you crossed the streams yet?
Yes, I have. I've tried to have lightsaber fights.
Did the world end?
I tried writing your name.
They should have made it blow. They really should have made it blow up if you crossed the streams. That would have just been funny. Just for a little while, just a troll, just for a little while.
I do know you can kill people and ships with the extractor beam, though. The tractor beam that kills people.
With the tractor beam.
Well, yep.
Is it more powerful than the mining laser?
It's about the same power, believe it or not.
Did you just see the head get sucked off as it's
fucking decompose. So we were trying to jump, and we had a reclaimer, a star. We had big ships, and we were all lined up. And some fucking, in fact, it was Madness that saved us. Some little bastard came along in a prospector and was like, there goes the reclaimer. And Madness is, you were in a prospector, weren't you?
I was in a 600i.
Are you in a 600i?
First ever time I was in a 600i, and I was sat there watching, and I saw this prospector come hurtling towards you, and he had red on him, and I knew this guy is no good.
Trouble.
And he literally went right next to the Starfarer, and then he hit the laser, and the Starfarer just went, poof, was split into two, and I was right next to it because I kind of came in close, getting ready, because I was thinking, I know a bad person knows a bad person. Okay, that's pretty much the way it runs. Okay, you just know. It takes one to know one, exactly.
And I did it. I'll get him, and he just went. 2 seconds later,
he turned around and I took him out. But the problem was, I took so much damage. That laser is insane. Like he managed to I think he got me once with the laser, and it ripped the middle of my 600 was invisible, but I was still able to shoot him. And then I went to try and repair, and that thing is so floaty. Like I couldn't get on the repair. I was like hammering the thrusters and trying, and I just kept rolling around Cryastro forever and ever.
That's the start of beam weapons, though. When you think about it, that's
I know.
a cool feature. When it's like, Like,
no,
Everyone sells
so
their
powerful.
combat ships for prospectors.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
We need a
I mean,
prospector.
Beam weapons are actually going to be in game.
Yeah.
They've already talked about that. So
that must be the starting point. Is well, they've already got the fucking beam, so let's reduce the
That's
power
the starting point. It's
So just
got a
all you
beam
need
and
to
it's
do
a
is
weapon.
just copy paste.
Find a way if we can get like the grav mags, some way to lock a prospect to the top of any ship, and then you're golden.
That'd be a new turret. It's just a fucking prospector on top.
That's practically sharks with laser beams on their head. That's exactly what that is.
freaking laser beams on their head.
Sabers with prospects.
Get a prospectors like what is it, like 4 prospectors stuffed into the side of a caterpillar, and then you got like a laser broadside.
That would be like, what's the chariot? I think there's a famous Roman or Greek where she had a chariot, and with the blades would chop people's at the knees. I think it was a famous chariot. I forget her name well. It's going to bug me. No, she's like super famous. She had like her name, and her chariot had the blades. It's one of the famous blades. Boudica, yeah, that's the one. Yeah, and she'd have the chariot with the blades. That would be pretty.
You live in London.
The prospect.
How do you not know Boudica? There's a freaking statue.
I know. I do know her. I just forgot the name.
You know, you're often meeting up for lunch and.
I know her.
I know her.
She's a great source of inspiration.
Burning down London, yes. She did. That's what she was famous for, was burning down London.
Oh, yeah.
We do like statues of the greats.
So, moving on from money, unless anyone else wants to talk about money, we can talk about money a bit more if we want to, but I'm just going to move on to the new armor.
The new armor.
So we've got it in game now, obviously. So we've got the new legacy packs. I think we've got all of them now, or are we still missing the medium one?
No, we have them all. The medium one is missing textures, but that's pretty much it.
It looks
medium
cool.
outlaw.
I think the medium armor looks pretty sweet.
Are these the outlaw ones? Because I looked at the marine ones, and I actually couldn't tell if they were new or not. I looked at it and I thought, they're not really doing it for me, these new marine updates.
The marine ones don't do it for me
either.
either.
You and those other people following on Twitter going, I think it's the new one, but no, I'm not really sure. It's like, yeah, this is great. These are people that are doing videos on the new armors and stuff. And it's like, I don't know if it's a new one or not.
If I don't know, the community will, and then I will know. So I don't look.
And then 2 minutes later, brings out a video saying, so these are the new armors.
Turns out these are the new armors. Yeah. But I haven't seen the outlaw ones. I think the outlaw. I love the helmet of the medium, but I'm not.
Yeah, I've seen someone do a screenshot of it. Yeah.
Make sure. Well, okay, if you want to go see the outlaw ones, make sure you're heavily armed
or don't go to
heavily armored. You have to go to Grimhex, I believe. You have to go to Grimhex. Make sure you bring 4 of your friends, and make sure everybody knows how to use the weapons through the Armistice Zone glitch, and you'll be good to go.
You can. The medium, and the light are at Levski, and I believe you can buy all 3 armors at Levski. But only 2 of them are on display.
Okay.
Oh, so
I thought they weren't.
You got to use the kiosk, which I found for the very first time the other day. I was still doing it old school. I walked in and I was trying to position myself and get the thing.
Oh yes.
And then I wandered around and I suddenly saw this kiosk.
Where's that buy button?
Like, what the fuck is this?
What is this magical?
Oh, by the way, thank you.
Where is this?
Thank you, CIG, for making multiples, so you can buy multiples.
Yeah.
You stole my yes. I could buy 10. I could buy 10 many pens. I could buy 20 or 200.
I bought 800
maximum.
Grenades.
All gone. All gone.
Why would you want to push that button? Like, why? Okay, I'll give you that. It's a grenade, right? But why not just like plus 10 or something?
You can build a ship out of them. It's just like, this is my ship made of grenades.
I almost did the same, Mac. Don't worry, you and I are in the same boat. I literally went, I saw grenades, and I went max. I thought max would be like 20 or something. 857 grenades.
How are you carrying?
Question is, can you equip them all at once?
You're just a walking grenade.
Oh my god.
Where's that go?
Lifetime tag. You come in. Hi, welcome, sir. We have your grenades for you already. We know that
you would be suspicious as fuck if someone came in and bought 852 grenades. You'd be like, sorry, can we just do some background checks, please?
I walk into a gun store. I got my gun out already. I walk into a port. There's a start of a joke. HCVertigo walks into a gun shop at Port Olisar. There are no survivors. There are no survivors.
They'd look at you funny though. I would be like, What? I've got a
He's
problem.
out for trouble.
Okay? Just leave me
There's a
alone.
lot of dangerous people out there, you know.
Exactly.
I always take
I
any
just
risks.
really love grenades. It's part of my religion. Do not question me.
Yeah, exactly.
I am of the boom boom religion.
There's obviously no sanity check when you buy it. It's like, are you sane?
I would just say Dr. Drone
That
sent me.
makes it-
That's what I would say.
Yeah. that would actually be kind of a cool little like they did in Fallout, where like if you had a low intelligence score, if you do something like buy 500 grenades, the clerk just goes, "Can you take this survey real quickly before we leave?"
I have one question and only one question to ask you. Explosions?
Yeah. No, it's funny. It's funny you said that, Matt, because that was literally the thing I noticed. That was the bit. First of all, I was just so happy because I was able to buy multiples. Yeah, that was the best thing. Was like, oh my god, I can buy multiples. This is amazing.
I mean, shit.
It's funny how the little things that they just come along, and then you just go, oh, this is awesome.
And you know, people on Spectrum are complaining about how easy it is now. They're making the game more casual and accessible.
That's brilliant. Love it. Really, really good. And then the great thing is, I know, but you need to know your shit as well, though. You need to know your guns because they're named. You know, it's not like a picture or anything. You need to know what you're looking for, which I really like as well. So I'm like, I literally felt like Arnold Schwarzenegger in the, I'll take an Uzi 9mm and I'll take a thing, and I was literally I'll have a scalpel. I'll take a scalpel.
That's me fucked. I'll probably end up with the cricket from Men in Black because I'm like, I don't know anything about guns. It's like, which one? Oh, this one sounds cool. And you go, here you go. Oh, right, thanks.
I think they are going to put in like the 3D models because that's actually something
eventually.
It is like when I was trying to buy all the new armor. I swear I bought the same helmet like 3 times. I couldn't remember which one because the APC Mark IV and then the Mark 10 and the Mark. It's like I don't know.
How many multiples of guns did you buy? Because I bought quite a few. I had like 5 of them.
Me too, because every time you die, you lose it. Whatever you're holding.
To be fair, it's like 100,000 and the option of max.
Yeah.
He didn't have any money left after his grenade splurge.
Yeah.
I did spend 40 grand. I think 100 grand. I spent, if I had 100 grand, 40 grand on armor. Yeah, 40 grand on armor and guns. And that was
congratulations, you are now American.
I came out skipping, and then they gave me another patch the next day, and it was all gone.
Sons of bitches.
I was like, God damn it, I gotta do it all again. But now, thanks to kiosks, it can be done very quickly. Although I do want them to be able to allow me to shoot people in hex, because there's one guy, he was in the queue. You want me to tell you how to do it? You want me to tell you how to do it? On the kiosk. You want me to tell you how to do it?
Tell us. Tell us all.
Okay, armor. Okay, the new heavy legacy outlaw shoulder pauldrons. Oh my god, if you put those on over any light armor or just your flight suit, honestly, it looks like you're a 40,000 Warhammer 40K Space Marine.
Nice.
It's just like, honestly, the pauldrons are massive.
I don't know how.
How do you think about how they're the cool thing about the cool thing about the pauldrons is that the one because everyone is I guess right-handed. Everyone puts the stock on their right shoulder in Star Citizen. There's no reverse. The right pauldron has a guard. It actually goes all the way up to protect your face, as if you were going to be leaning down. So it actually protects part of your body. And the round one protects kind of the way it's built is designed to cover a little bit of your chest as well. So even though they like, oh, it looks like an artistic choice, but when you actually pull out a weapon, it's like, oh, it actually designed properly to protect you against these sorts of things.
If only they could tell that to the guy that had his finger on the trigger finger on the toy gun.
On the toy gun. Oh my god.
Oh, around the verse.
That trigger discipline.
That trigger discipline.
It was like, I wasn't here that week. God.
I think he probably does it. He does it on purpose because he's probably just like.
I fucking would. I would.
Keep doing it.
If I wasn't there, I wouldn't just put my finger on the trigger finger. I'd be sitting there doing that. I just wait to get around.
You just be playing with the hole.
Yeah.
The entire time.
Just safety on and off, trigger finger as I'm doing it. Oh, well, sorry, what's my point it at myself because I think that's like a thing, isn't it? Point it at myself.
Also, to answer a quick question in chat, yes, you can buy ship weapons, but you have to go to the right place to find them. Each landing zone has its own unique buying place, which is I like. The only thing you can buy at Lesky is missiles, so don't go to Lesky unless you want missiles. Nothing.
It's
but
cool.
missiles.
It's definitely it's all come with the kiosks and with the UI and everything. You know, because that's one of the things they did say. They said like, you know, we can't get ships and stuff in game because of the UI. It's always seems to be the thing is the UI stuff. So yeah, no, I'm pretty stoked about the kiosks. If I'm honest, I think that's one of the best things. I'm glad because we voted for it, right? It was like kiosk was. I voted for kiosks, so I'm really happy that it's. I'm really happy that it's in.
It's important to remember that of the things we voted on, 4 of the 5 of the top 5 got added in. Mining,
yeah.
Well, kiosk,
Groups.
like group systems,
improved item 2.0,
improved item 2.0. I can't remember one of them, but the last one that didn't get in.
The grouping thing, wasn't it? The party stuff.
Group jumping, group party
yeah,
stuff.
Quantum linking, yeah.
Quantum linking, and then better
grouping,
communication.
quantum linking. Yeah, but it was the only thing that wasn't added that was voted really was the FPS AI. So like they got almost everything in they were looking for.
Pretty good.
To be fair, that was the only thing I was really looking forward to. But actually, after playing it extensively last night and not doing the mining and trying to play the game like I normally would if it was live, I was like,
pretty good.
This is fun. This is actually pretty good.
Yeah, the missions I try to come. I'm actually doing more missions now, like trying to see what to sample the buffet, as it were, to see what's on offer. Trying not to do just the criminal missions, but trying to do all the missions. And there's actually some fairly interesting one. The new destroy all probes mission. That's pretty interesting. You have to actually kind of go around and you have to use your. I don't know if they're going to keep that, but you actually have to listen for the pings. You have to. Track the pings down by direction by your hearing.
You can also scan for them. You can also scan for them.
Oh, fuck.
But...
Never thought about scanning for them.
Watching Mac try and find them was pretty funny. And then at one point he found one for ages, and then someone said, "Oh, go closer to Grimhex," so he did. And as he brought his ship down, there was a probe directly in front of him, and he goes, "I just can't find it." And then he moved away from it. It's like, it was in front of you. God damn it.
I think that was the one I just destroyed, though.
No, I don't think it was. Well, it might have been. Does it stay up? But I don't know.
The hardest part is
you are witnessing in real time the onsets of Alzheimer's.
I was gonna say the hard part about the probe missions is that after you destroy 1 or 2, suddenly whoever the OP4 is, either the Crusader Security or Ninetales, suddenly realize what you're doing, and then they attack you. And they don't attack you with just like, "Oh, we're just gonna attack you with a little bit." No, they throw at you ridiculously overpowered cutlasses, Buccaneers and Gladiuses, which are difficult to counter, and they all attack you at once.
Dude,
so
when they arrive with
prospectors, one at a time. Then
you're fucked.
Run.
Crusader Security prospectors. You're like, no.
That's what I've been saying. We need a torpedo, a size 9 torpedo that just has the mining laser on the tip of it, and then we just shoot that at javelins.
It burrows a hole through.
Yeah, it carves its way in before it gets there, and then just goes and fits in nicely. That's a good idea.
All the crew inside the ship, you see this thing moving. You're like, what the fuck was that?
I'm like, what was that? What was that 007 film that actually had the torpedo that drilled through the ship?
That was a submarine, wasn't it? Was it a submarine?
It was a submarine that fired it at like a destroyer or something, and it had this weird torpedo that had this mining bit on it. It would
like,
start nom. Don't clip that.
Yeah, anyway.
Okay.
Thunderball or tomorrow.
What we were talking about something. Missions, yes, probe missions. Probe missions, those were fun. I did some of the hunt the people down and kill them missions. Those were interesting. Picking up the packages.
Bounty hunters.
Bounty hunting missions.
Well, I did have. Go on.
I did have a great with a buddy the other night. We went to the security post to try to hack away our crime stat, and we ended up having a full team, like 8 or 7 people, like 7 or 8 people showing up, try to stop us from hacking, and it was great. The F-55 is amazing, a little rotary barrel Gemini F-55.
That's great indoors, isn't it?
Oh my God, we were holding off like it was 2 people versus like 8, and they kept coming back. And eventually I figured out that you can poke the barrel of the gun through the windows at Grimhex and start killing people from the inside. And then it took both of us, but we managed to take down a Super Hornet. doing that trick.
The F-55 can literally multiple F-55s can destroy a ship. A small fighter. They can bring.
But you see, I do prefer the demo. I find the F-55 is just so sporadic with its recoil. Good in close quarters when you've got like a narrow hallway. Well, not in my hands, but like the Democo just feels accurate. And I know if I just hold my finger down and try and just
pew, 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 pew. Yeah. Right now, the recoil and cone of fire definitely rewards burst fire. Just letting off the trigger for a brief moment and then getting back on it, and then letting off is pulse firing essentially. I find the Democo just gets its accuracy just gets unmanageable for a sustained fire. But if you just let go and let the cone of fire come back, and then you kind of just keep fighting that. But I find the Democos just really work. This is really weak right now for me, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, there's like they have said in the latest. The one question I managed to hear on Calling All Devs was about the attachments and weapons and things, about how they can adjust the recoil, the damage, all that sort of stuff. So that's, I mean, over time, it's probably all going to change. And I expect they'll get all the weapons in and balance them to what they have already, which then also has to balance to the ship weapons and have to sort of all, and then they have to balance the fucking miner laser, please.
Oh my god. Yeah, all the damn handheld weapons can take out ships right now. Like you can use a Democo, an F-55, a Gallant, a P9, a P8, a P4, a Scalpel to take out a 600i, which is just ridiculous.
That laser pistol though, that used to be able to take out a Connie in like 2 hits.
Yeah,
so it was like about 4 patches. Pistol. It was like, oh, sorry.
Whoops.
Don't clip that. I like it. He's got you.
He's got me dead to rights.
But yeah, I think the balance is obviously something that's going to keep going on and on and on whenever new things come in and new bits are added. They've got to have a standard thing to put it in before they balance it, really. So.
Yeah, exactly. And it's way too early to balance that sort of stuff anyway. They're just going to do what they can.
Oh yeah, like I want sanity in the balance more than I want actual fairness. I just like if something's just ridiculous right now, maybe we can kind of pull back on that, kind of like how EMP was for like 3.0. Literally, the entire community had to start crying about that. Like just having an off button for an enemy ship was just ridiculous. Like that was getting in the way, honestly.
That armor looks like it's kind of like a mix between Predator. Is it Dark Panther? Dark Panther.
I like it a lot.
Black
this
Panther.
Is kind of one of the things there's certain armors that are kind of cool, but it's like the marine stuff is boring as fuck.
The helmet looks very insect-like, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just I don't. Yeah, I went into the texturing. Once the texturing comes in, because that can change obviously everything. You know, we're looking at it. It's very sand-like, so it does give a bit of an alien feel. But once it's all
great if you're on Daymar,
things
no one will ever see you.
Change.
But, maybe this is the camouflage stealth armor. It just changes to the background.
Where did fucking go?
I love the new armor system. I love the modularity of it. I'm enjoying mixing pieces. I spent quite a long time like just going, okay, what do I like this skin suit, or do I want to have the stone one, or do I want to have? Then it's like, what arms do I want? Do I want the and then I'm just looking purely on looks to start with, just to get the look of the character that I want to portray in the verse.
That's all I ever use.
And then and then it's a question. Then it'll be then hopefully as we could progress and they build more and more of these things, then it'll be a question of making sure you get the right bits that do actually do good, like, look cool and perform to what you need them to perform.
My problem with the medium legacy armor, it has the ugliest helmet I've ever seen.
The helmet?
No,
you're not fan.
Like I consider that helmet actually uglier than the original heavy outlaw armor, which had the tubes and stuff all over the mouthpiece. I hated that armor.
What's the view like?
The eye of the beholder.
Is the view? Oh, you haven't tried it on. I know Jay Lee was actually saying that there is so much more armor. Like he's been working on fuckloads of armor, so potentially we're just going to have shed loads to swap in that. And what I do like is the fact that it is arms, legs, torso. Although I always buy the fucking undersuit by accident, thinking it's the
suit. I remember the first time they added armor into the game that was modular, and it was just like everybody just assumed you just bought the center
full thing.
Skin.
And that's quite cheap, and I've got fucking loads of undersuits. What am I going to do with all this?
Where's my armor? I spent 1,000. I spent 1,000 credits on it.
Oh, I've got the same skin suit 5 times. Yay! No, I'm they're doing a great job with all of that stuff. Obviously, there's issues with clipping, and like I said, like some of the bigger pieces do look kind of weird. But it's also I want more of that for spaceships. I legitimately want more of that type of variety on spaceships. I want to do a bit more of that type of customization on the inside and the outside.
That's a good sort of segue, as I'm going to just fucking steal that bit, to talking about power allocation, which is one of my favorite things in the game for 3.2. The whole being able to actually reduce, like when I was streaming in that 600i incident of losing a thruster and then having to, although I didn't quite manage to take off completely, I managed to build up enough thrust by removing the redundant systems, like taking the power off of the weapons and the jump drive and shields, and just allocating it to the power and the thrusters, or to the power plant. And every time I did something else, it would get me further out of atmosphere, which to me is what a lot of the gameplay in Star Citizen is going to be like. If you take damage and you've had to land to repair or swap out some components quick just to try and get off.
Even if you're one of your components gets damaged because of wear and tear, like you're just not paying attention to it, you know?
Yeah, that's it. And it's going to happen. Even like you may think, well, I've got a little bit of time left in this. I'll hang on to it now, but I've got a spare one. And then you're like, oh shit, I mispacked the cargo, but I don't have a spare one. For fuck's sake. As always.
I actually have an interesting story about that. Like I found out recently because I have access. I actually have access to everybody has access to the cart to wall, these Jean Scout. And apparently the Jean Scout has an issue with its shield generators. It can actually equip Starfarer class shields.
Whoa.
Size 3s. 2 size 3s if it wants to. And it's like size 1 is like a Super Hornet or a Gladius size. Size 2 is like Constellation.
Working as a test.
So what you're saying is it takes me in another 5 seconds to kill it rather than
yes.
The thing is, I've got a prospector. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. The problem is that the size 3 shields take so much power you can't possibly hope to actually get them to full strength. It gets up to maybe a 15%.
With your power plant,
with the size 1, size 1 power plant. Even the competition grade power plant, the best you can get.
I'm trying.
Doesn't do it. But you can equip 2 size 2 shield generators onto the stupid cartwell, and it does barely work. The only problem is you get what Mac over there says is just that eventually you just have to start killing the weapons. You have to start turning the jump drive off. You start having to turn everything else off just to get the shield. And because the shields power up on a sliding scale, the more energy you have to put into the shields, the more energy it takes to charge the shields. So you end up having this huge power requirement initially to charge the shields, and then as your shields get further charged, the power requirement starts dropping off. Then you can start turning stuff back on.
Well, that's cool because it makes it a lot interesting with the power management, though. That's a good added gameplay, I think.
But a half-charged size 3 shield surely is better than a size 1 shield anyway.
Yeah, I think so. I haven't played around with it too much to see how effective it is. I think ships have some issues right now with toughness in the person.
Ships have issues.
Yeah, you don't say. Issues, you don't say in Star Citizen.
No.
Got to go to ship counselling. It's like
go to press prospectors for counselling. Line up.
I don't know if we like our prospects. They're madness.
Talking about the power management, because you were saying about, like, Miz was just commenting then about, like, makes it gameplay interesting, which obviously makes capital ships interesting. But as a combat pilot myself, and HC is similar with the Saber or Super Hornet or whatever, being able to dial and change and tweak your settings in a combat situation will be impossible unless you can set keys and presets different dials. You could have I want my dial to be maximum attack, I want my dials to be maximum shield. You have like ability to do key binding.
You've had that for a while.
Yeah.
And also like voice, that's how people have been doing it with voice attack, because it does.
I know with voice attack, but
no, but the voice attack uses the hotkeys. That's how voice attack works. So
there's actually a hotkey you can preset for preset power plant and shield distribution.
And is that and you can set it to exactly. Because this is just for people out there.
I don't know exactly.
You can set it to exactly the amount.
But I want to know. It's in the key bindings, and so
I've been in key bindings.
I wasn't sure you could set it. It's under power allocation. There's like power preset 1, 2, 3, 4. They're just generic numbers.
Okay.
So So even if it's not in right now, or if it's not working properly, it's obviously planned for that.
There is a plan to have that, so that you can go to stealth mode or combat mode or that's what you can do it on the fly.
Modes. Yeah.
So I can customize it, because that's the thing. Is the reality is once you start customizing your ship with your own weapons and your own power, things start to change. You might have different combinations that they don't know about or whatever. They don't. So you'll need to be able.
So for example, like my scout. For example, like my scout with its dumb 2 size 2 shields that it shouldn't possibly have. Like I could have a power preset on my keyboard that give me prioritize shield for like a startup sequence, for like give me prioritize all energy to shields and turn these weapons off and turn all this stuff off. That way my shields will charge, and then once my shields are fully charged, then I have a movement preset that puts more energy to the thrusters and the weapons, and then once I start taking combat damage, I put more power, like that kind of stuff. That'd be kind of cool.
Well, Ash Angel, you're saying about the power plants. Yeah, I think it kind of got nerfed, is the honest truth.
Screw you, Vertigo.
They nerfed
you just fucked up. You fucked up everybody's fun.
Cut fucking firm. It's over, everybody. Hashtag no fun allowed in Star Citizen.
Just when we thought we could balance shields, no, they take it away.
Something I do when I'm mining, actually, in the Prospector, well, the only ship that can mine, obviously, is I put the shields to the front. Because if you do fuck up, that always takes the brunt of it. So you do
the front of it.
Not if,
when. That's what you do.
When you do fuck up.
That's what I used to do for combat. I would put the shields to the front, because whenever I'm engaging with somebody, I'm going to be showing them my tail as little as I can. I'm going to be showing them the front, all powered up shields at the front. That's what I was doing before. So I'm interested. I mean, I'm just going to touch this because I don't want it, because we've been very positive, and I think 3.2 is excellent. ESP is still shit. And the fact, I don't know if anyone else is having the problem that I've been having, but it's like I was talking to Mac about this on Discord. If I was in an M50 and I'm doing finite maneuvering just to do quantum jumping, and I want to target that little diamond to just give me the ability to jump, and it is all fucking over the place, and I'm just
no. For those of us who don't know, what control scheme do you use?
Mouse and keyboard.
There you go. I haven't had that problem. I use joystick and keyboard.
So I'm finding it ridiculously annoying with my mouse and keyboard, and that's fine. That's good to know if the joystick doesn't have another problem. But it just wobbles. That's not because of the F50. F50 is obviously very fast, maneuverable ship, but it's just
the faster it is,
really
the more
floaty.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm like one of those dudes trying to lock onto the Death Star, that tiny little 5x5, whatever, kind of
2 meters, 2 square meter.
2 square meters.
I have both side womp rats back in my T16 back home.
I can't do that, man. I'm rubbish. I'm not that.
Luke is such a dick for saying that. I'm just gonna say that. You're such a dick. Well, you're just a terrible pilot. You just don't know what the fuck you're doing. I'm just a dumb kid from the desert, and you're a fucking asshole. It's like, oh wait.
I always hated that part of the movie.
Dude who's gonna be backing your ass in the next 50 seconds, next couple hours. Fighting this guy's fucking star. This dude is designed to back you to. Yeah, help me, Luke, or help me, Luke, or whatever, dude. Nah.
So what?
Why don't you bullseye that fucking womp rat, you motherfucker?
Too right.
Don't insult your wingman. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, and turrets are awful. ESP still needs work.
I will say, ESP needs work. Turrets at least work. Like before, you had to do some sort of crazy ritual with chickens and goats, and several hail satans to get them to even get into the turret to turn it on to fire it. Now at least it just works no matter what, but it still needs some work in terms of its control scheme. Now it's more of a control balance rather than it doesn't fucking work.
It doesn't. Yeah. How about because I know people were getting all excited. They jump into the 600 with the remote turret, and everyone was melting. I could see orgasmic joys of people when they were first streaming it, going, "Oh my god, this is amazing! It's like the best thing ever!" I'm like, did you not fire? Super Hornet was remote turret before, or am I going crazy? But anyway, but they're all super excited, and I was like, okay, but does it hit the target? Does it hit a moving human target? And does anyone know?
One of the first things we tried was the Super Hornet turret, and oh my god, as soon as I turned the turret on, as soon as I turned the remote turret on, it robbed all the power from the rest of the ship.
Here's the question though. When did you try it?
I think it was the very first P2 patch they opened up to subscribers.
I tried it last night. I tried last night with turrets on a Vanguard, and it worked fairly well. No, it's not perfect. It was hard to track.
I tried the Hurricane on the most recent patch. I managed to convince a puppy to let me into a Hurricane, and holy Christ, I was getting motion sick. Well, mostly that's just the control scheme. They're very, very. It works now. It works now. It wasn't like the very first patch, but there were some issues. And now they
so buggy, so buggy. HC, I couldn't get Is it now again? And for people who've played,
it's working better with the latest patch.
It doesn't damage. You and your mate can get in a Hurricane, and you can get out of a Hurricane. You know what I mean? You can. You're not trapped in the Hurricane.
We seem to be having the problem with ships blowing themselves up, though. I'm not quite sure what causes
blowing
that.
Themselves up.
Well, they just explode. Like
ships
before,
just randomly explode.
Before it could have been.
My Aurora used to do that all the time.
Yeah, invisible asteroids.
Yeah, invisible asteroids. But now, you're blowing up randomly in nowhere.
Space wells.
Suddenly you explode.
Yeah. Or you could be
they posted something. Didn't they post something on that? They said that there was a known. I looked on. I was ages ago. They said there was a known bug for when you did something and quantum jumped, it would just blow up.
Well, they have one where it'll destroy your ship if you buy cargo at Grim Hex. So apparently the terrorists are putting bombs in your hold instead of
wicked. I love it. I want that. That's something I definitely want in the game. Ticking bombs in people's ships. Actually, very briefly go back to mining. That was something I was thinking for if you had an extra person wandering around, if they could plant charges onto rocks and or asteroids.
I thought that was going to be.
They can blow them up and split them apart for you. Rather than you having especially for more delicate operations.
They don't need that when I'm mining. It's pretty much a barrel of C4 anyway.
That would be pretty dope. Let me see what else we've got. So we've discussed piracy and griefing. What does each one of us consider griefing?
All right.
Just give me that.
I have a very big problem with the majority of the community's discussion on griefing.
Yeah.
If I shoot you because I want to shoot you, that's gameplay. That's not griefing.
You should thank this man for creating content for you.
If I shoot you 400 times and specifically target you because lol, that's griefing. Repeated attack on someone is griefing. I don't even think something like camping outside Grimhex and shooting people as they come out is griefing, especially as you go forward and someone's going to figure out how to make money off of that. Like I just said, just hold the whole damn station hostage. You want to come out, you can, but you're gonna have to pay the toll to leave the station. Eventually, though, CIG will have some balance stuff like that. But there seems to be a belief that any kind of conflict between players is griefing. Oh, but except for piracy, which is you have to be making money off of it if it's piracy.
No, there has to be a code. There's a code. There's a pirate code. Everybody on Spectrum agreed that there is a code. Yeah. Right, like 10 people is everybody.
This is what the funny thing with this actually is. This comes up a lot in Pirates of the Sea of Thieves. Sorry, I mean the game's called Sea of Thieves, and the amount of people I see on Facebook, the Sea of Thieves Facebook group saying, "I know it's called Sea of Thieves, but does everybody have to nick stuff from me?" And it's yes, because they want to. It's I don't know. I don't know.
Oh man,
I feel like a pirate is doing it for personal gain. If there's no personal gain, then it's just purely insanity in a way.
What if personal gain? What if personal gain is my entertainment? What if I just want to make you walk the plank because I find it funny? No, I'm a pirate.
Well, no, I'm an outlaw. I don't obey the law. That's the point. When you're playing as an outlaw, your job is to be a dick. I mean, in many ways, because you could do what you want because the pirate is free. You are a pirate.
If you're choosing to play like that, then you're. I mean, I get my jollies off blowing people up. That's for sure in the game. I mean, I do. I take joy in watching that person suck or die. As much as they get their jollies off when they come back and kill me, and they're like, "Woo, yeah, I got in my revenge,"
But I think I think the problem is that people believe that there's a significant number of people who believe that any conflict that's not directly related to taking cargo from somebody else is griefing, and I think that's the problem. Is that that's not griefing, that's in many ways gameplay.
Yeah.
And griefing is targeting someone for the sake of causing them harm.
Annoyance. Yeah.
Annoyance.
Griefing for me is when you threaten somebody with physical violence outside of the computer game.
Yeah.
You know,
That's targeting the person.
when you target them individually at the person. Griefing also for me, as I've always constituted, is exploiting a game mechanic to mean that somebody
like getting through armistice zones.
I'm not targeting I'm not targeting an individual person. I'm targeting everybody. So I'm being very indiscriminate.
That doesn't make it less grieving.
No,
if you're exploiting the bug to do it, that doesn't make it less. So I'm killing all of you fairly. It's not grieving.
I don't mind. I don't mind.
I'm an indiscriminate murderer. I'm not.
Where are all these corpses coming from? Whose footprints are these?
No. Like, for me, it's like if you exploit a game mechanic where there is no counter to something. There's no way of if you could glitch into a wall, and once you're in the wall, there's no way of getting to. There's no way someone else can get into that space. There's no way that we can touch you, kill you, or do anything to you, and you just sit there all day long, stopping people getting anywhere, doing anything, and murdering people day and over and over and over.
I would argue.
I'd call that griefing.
I would argue. Pad camping, pad ramming was a griefing mechanic, and I want to address Paul. Paul, we had a wonderful breakthrough a long while ago in my stream chat where we were talking about the idea, not just Spectrum, but there is actually a large group of people that play video games. The idea of a single player MMO, where everybody has to get along. You play in your little tiny playpen, and you don't touch anybody else. You don't interact with anybody. You just everybody's doing their thing over there. You're doing your thing, and it totally devalues the purpose of the multiplayer part and the massive part. No, but there seems to be a group of people that want that.
Sounds bullshit. No,
there are a lot of people that say, "Oh, I always solo in multiplayer games," and it's like, okay.
You're gonna die.
Like,
there's nothing wrong with soloing in multiplayer games as long as you understand that the reality is that large groups of people will probably just kill you because you're easy target.
If you piss off Test and Montoya decides that today we're just gonna fuck with this guy over here, and that's you're the flavor of the month. Like you're not gonna be able to play Star Citizen. Maybe you want to play Star Citizen really bad. Well, Star Citizen is an MMO, and one of those M's is multiplayer.
Well, and that brings another thing.
I honestly would
even the concept of griefing.
Bring it. Literally, just bring them all. Bring them all in a row, one after another. I'll take them all. I just love
the concept of griefing. Also, kind of breaks down when if you're a dick to somebody else, and then they target you because you're being a dick. Is that griefing or is that revenge?
Yeah,
because that falls into because you're ruining one person's gameplay but not without cause. Like that's the problem that I have with this discussion about griefing, because this whole you
want to make
names, but
you want to make this high fidelity universe that's very immersive. You're gonna have the idea of revenge, even personal or legal revenge against people. Like somebody comes in and kills you in an armistice zone, they get ranked, high crime stat. You get bounty on them. And then you catch them and you claim the bounty, you kill their character, that should be the end of it, right? And then you have, the idea of personal revenge where you're outside the law and you're going to kill that son of a bitch because he's been a pain in your ass for so long that it doesn't matter. Shoot on sight. That's going to be a part of it.
Yeah, and there's people as well who like to role play as well. So some people like look. I take for example Mr. Moon, for example. He's borderline slightly on the psychopathic when he plays his game. He usually tends to
what do you mean borderline?
Borderline,
borderline. That man is completely. He's a wonderful human being when you meet him in person. I've met him a couple times in person. He's a great dude. He's really, if you're a fan of his, you talk with him. He's very thankful about it. He loves to talk to you about it. But he plays and is a total sociopath, if not a psychopath, in every one of his games.
It's brilliant. I love watching his stuff. And for me, it's like I don't know. But I just really enjoy watching his stuff. And I just think but some people, if that was taken out of place, could consider him to be a little bit at times to be maybe not a griefer, but you could kind of see how people could get a little bit put their nose out of joint on it. I know he does role play servers and stuff, which I think probably helps. But yeah, I don't know. I'm with Paul with this one. I think in game, I don't think there's anything apart from, like I said, exploits and a few things that could be considered griefing. But if you go after a person in chat, literally the person with verbal aggressive language, threatening them in any way of any form outside as well, that is just like a no for me. That's the worst, and I hate that shit.
Yeah,
I had one person do that to me before.
It
wasn't cool.
You can easily also define it as like things like sexist, homophobic, like the stuff that you just don't want in the game. Because
and
sure. Again, it comes down to how do you define toxicity? And I think far too many people define toxicity as you kicked over my sandcastle.
They did what?
You kicked over my sandcastle because you wanted to.
You stole my Legos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the point.
But I think it's a can of worms, CRG, just very dangerous area to be doing. I think titling the whole show about that and stuff, and I got to watch a little bit more. I watched about half of it, and I'm already.
I don't think it's a bad conversation for them to have, though. Like, it's got to be had at some point because it's got to be turned into a mechanic that they're going to put in the game on what they do and don't allow. Oh, yeah. And at the end of the day, what we define as griefing, it doesn't really matter. It's like anything. If you go and play on somebody's server, it's what the server host's rule is. So if they define something as griefing and you do it, then for you're griefing, whether you believe that or not. And so ultimately it will be down to CIG's end list of rules, whether what you're doing is griefing or not. And so by having the conversation, it means at least we can, as a community, feedback what we believe should be griefing and what shouldn't be.
Don't you think, though, let's be honest, CIG is quite literally as grey when it comes to pretty much pinning down almost anything. That,
I didn't say you was actually going to get anything from them. I'm just saying,
okay, cool.
It's a conversation that's there. It's like, come on.
Okay, okay. Yeah. I was like, no way. There's no way.
But you said already there's been things in the past where they won't go after people and ban them. So yeah, don't expect anything to happen. It's just a conversation. It's just that they know that there's griefing and that there's piracy. That doesn't make a difference.
You know, this whole in-game sort of admin office where you can go and say, this person's wronged me, can you look into it? That, I feel, obviously World Cup's going on, that I feel is going to be a bit like VAR now in the World Cup. So if you don't know, if someone fouls someone, they can go to the
let's have a look at the replay.
Yeah, I feel it's going to be a case of literally anytime anyone gets killed or annoyed in the game, they're going to be like, can you look into this? Those people in that office are going to be like, this was a bad idea. Yeah. It's just going to be constant, like, so much wrong. Please look into it. Because everyone's going to feel wrong.
But that has happened in MMOs.
It's going to be player-based, thoe. It's a player-based one, though. It's called the...
It's cheating.
Yeah. It's called the...
I can't remember what it's called.
Hacking.
He's a hacker.
Arbitrator
Guild. Yeah, Arbitrators Guild. It's going to be players that they choose.
Oh, the stretch goals.
Arbitrators Guild. Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be like... You know, the turnover of staff is going to be constant.
Oh, it's just either there's going to be massive turnover, they're just going to ignore everybody.
Yeah, I ain't doing that.
But other MMOs have done that where, like, they actually have staff that have to go through tickets and then they look through the chat logs to see these abusive people. I mean, that's got to be fun.
People like they're abusing it in the World Cup now. Anytime anyone goes down, they're like, oh, check the VAR. It's like the games. Would last.
Yeah, but surely when they go down for no reason whatsoever, they should just get a yellow card and get sent off. Like, if it shows in the VAR that they were just faking it, it's like, yeah, you're off. Red card off.
They've been told they're not allowed to ask. They call for it. They should be getting yellow cards if you call for VAR. It's up to the referee to call.
They should.
I like VAR.
It's a shambles.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be game masters. This is going to be GMs. That's all it's going to be.
It will. It'll be James, but maybe higher through.
They're not. I don't think they'll be paid though. It'll be volunteer.
Oh God, no.
Based off of.
Pay people from CIG? Are you mad?
Pay them in REC. And rec.
REC outright.
They will give you free digital ships, don't you know? Which costs that's.
No, you can only use them in Arena Commander though. They'll give you free ships you can only use in Arena Commander.
Yeah. Oh wait,
if we're banning for faking it, then my ex-wife can't play. Oh dear.
Avatar.
Nice. Ouch. I like it.
Someone says this question. I want to throw this question out to you guys. Weapons should really be disabled by default and enabled when needed. Their activation would not need would not be instantaneously. Should notify people who are close to them.
Was that, is that in landing zones or?
I just think in general.
I think it's just in general. This is a comment. This is a question they posted. This was a Reddit question. Basically.
Like armistice zones.
Yeah, it says there. I just said weapons should be really be disabled by default and enabled when needed. Their activation would not be instantaneously. Should notify people who are close to them. Kind of like when a jet fighter turns on his radar.
Excuse me, I'm just putting my gun on. I'm just putting my gun on.
Yeah, everybody, I'm going to shoot this person, so I need a weapon. But I think they are like, because we don't have actual FPS and sort of decent security at the moment, I think we will see some landing zones where you may have an armistice zone. Weapons. Yeah, well, that's like passive.
But like you pop in and then the controller says turn your weapons off. This is your landing zone. And if you don't turn your weapons off, they say, freelancer, you have not turned your weapons off. This is your second and final warning. Turn your weapons off. And if you come in with your weapons on, they're going to take you out because of that.
And freelancer alpha 1-1 disable your weapons immediately.
Is he talking to me? Is he talking to me?
If they're going to do that, though, they must use the RoboCop robot that killed everybody.
Yeah, ED309. 309 or what it was.
Second request. I've got a prospector.
Yeah,
rain in hell.
But I think there is something Elite Dangerous as much as I know exclamation point Elite. That's what
yes. That's the Elite rant.
But Elite does actually a pretty good job of power management, where your weapons are not activated; they're put away, and most of your power can be allocated to your maneuvering and your shields. The second you pull your weapons out, it draws power to your weapons, so you can use them, which then limits your ability to maneuver. And while I don't think that something exactly like that should be happening with CIG, I think what they should do is have, especially with power management, have that be the default status, so that because like let's be honest, if a freaking Aquila,
Aqua,
whatever the fuck you want to call it,
whatever call it.
Apparently, I can't pronounce things.
Things. Paul.
The things. But
Webski.
It shouldn't. It shouldn't. If it's activating weapons, if a fucking Aquila is activating weapons, something went wrong. Like an explorer ship should never have to activate its weapons. So it would make sense for most of the time for ships to be inactive, disabled.
Is that like, I suppose, like Star Trek ships?
Get into a combat. Yeah, like that.
They're powering up their weapons, sir. One thing I have noticed in the latest patch for the 3.2 PTU, when you scan somebody, when you target somebody, their weapons and missiles will flash. I don't know if that's CIG putting in some code that'll let you know if somebody has their weapons powered up just when you target them. But we should have the default state for a lot of ships should be weapons powered down if you're in safe space.
Well, because it's just power management, like being able to like allocate that power away from weapons and towards other things. So that way, if you're just not doing combat, that way the combat ships shine because they're like, hey, now we've got our weapons activated. Now a saber is more dangerous than a buccaneer or a cutlass, which are not designed to be they're designed to be active in combat, but they're not as designed like as something made by Aegis, whatever you want to call it, or
okay, you are bad at pronouncing it.
I call it Aegis. Because everyone else calls it Aegis. And someone made a comment about how it's actually called Aegis because they say it in the boot up. But it's like, but everyone in the US calls it Aegis, and everyone in the UK calls it Aegis.
Aegis.
So,
and since I was born in the United States, I'm going to call it Aegis.
Yeah,
done.
Well, I think what it should do is it should come down first and foremost to logic. They should allow weapons to be enabled should they want them to. Yes, most places as you land, and it will depend on the place, Terra will be very strict on gun laws, whereas somewhere like Grimhex will be like, we'd rather you didn't, but they'll have security on board that would take you out should you start enabling them. But there needs to be, like, if you're a bounty hunter and you're tracking someone and they know you're tracking you, they're just going to run to the armistice zones because they know they're safe. And you're going to have to sit there and wait and watch them until they take off. So there should be a way of tracking someone down into a landing port, getting yourself through customs, and fair enough, maybe not having a weapon, but still being able to either acquire a weapon or use a weapon inside an armistice zone. But if you are noticed, then, and that could be, you could be noticed in a number of ways. Obviously, NPCs, visual, audible, security cameras, anything that, you know, we currently have in this world, as well as the future sort of ideas that will encourage you not to bring a weapon. But if you need to use one, you better damn right make sure you use it in the right place. Otherwise, you're going to be in trouble. And security is the biggest factor of that. Having not airport, but, you know, landing pad security is important. I don't know about rerouting power, because I feel like that should just be a system on it. That's a system on its own. When it starts interacting with the security UTC system, it could cause a bit more calamities to come out of that. But
oh, you know me, I love me some calamities. I mean, what are you going to do with those 800 grenades?
I'm telling you.
He's going to bowl them.
I'm just going to hang outside of the Cutlass doors and just be like, get back, Vertigo. Fuck off. Leave me alone.
I'm going to be like, he's got to... When is he going to figure out he's got to take the pin out of these?
with that many, he could grab camp Grimhex doors and just roll them in front of the door every, like, minute.
Sounds like a great stream, does that?
Oh, nice.
No, being able to throw grenades back. I'm looking forward to that day.
Do you think you can dominoes them? Like, put one grenade down for another one. Yeah, put grenades, dominoes, and then just set one off, and then just watch them all go. Blah, blah, blah,
like the old Halo.
I don't think you can throw them without taking the pin out. So that's a slight problem.
Plasma grenades.
Yes, Halo Warthog jumping. There you go. There's a blast from the past.
Yeah. Do you think we'll get mining land vehicles soon?
Yes, we will. Not soon, but we will definitely get vehicles of all types for most roles within some variation of them. There's what we see now in vehicles. I expect is just the tipping stone. That's not a
tipping stone of the iceberg.
It's like the tip of the iceberg. The summit stone.
Tipping point and
tipping point.
And here's my next thing: do you think we will get Ghostbuster style backpacks and be able to detach the lasers from the front of like the Prospector and be able to carry them around?
I don't think the Prospector laser, but I think it would be cool to have like FPS lasers. That would be cool. I don't know if that's
like beam lasers,
or maybe just using a walker thing,
like a heavy weapon, like driller or something like that.
Power
there's a microwave laser coming. Yeah, microwave cannon.
Yeah.
Cast arms. I gotta know that.
Can't wait to boil someone alive in their armor. Oh, I brought heavy armor. I brought a microwave. It's just like.
I mean, didn't they say something about having like a handheld mining, like for mining in person, or not? I can't remember.
Can it make the ping sound?
Would it make
the ping sound when it's
ping? The microwave gun just warms up, and then as it shoots, it just goes ping.
Like the ding at the end.
Done.
You cook. You could use it to like kill and cook.
Chicken's
animals,
done.
Like
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to get another account called The Chef. I only use the microwave gun.
Only using the microwave gun to kill all different types of animals.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
Yeah, you're gonna have to, as you're shooting people, someone said in chat, you have to ask them to spin around, otherwise you're not gonna microwave them fully.
It's gonna be like Arnold Schwarzenegger from that Batman movie. Like, you know what killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age. I'm gonna have to have some dumb microwave cooking puns.
I'll have to roleplay a cannibal group of people on board a 600i, that kind of scene scenario.
Oh, great! Now
with a microwave.
Like madness, you've just done it.
New Vegas is popping in my brain right now from that.
Madness, you've done it. I got a joke. I got a joke. Two cannibals are sitting over a bowl of soup, and one turns to the other and says, "Your wife sure does make a great soup." And the other one says, "Yeah, I sure am gonna miss her though."
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Hang on, I got a tumble.
I think the podcast is over. I think the podcast is over. Vertigo rip podcast.
So, questions.
Questions.
So actually, someone, George PEP357 asked, since the new version, so we haven't talked about this, which is something to talk about anyway, which is why I'm bringing it up, but the new version of quantum travel, planet and moon level, allows you to travel in a curve. Why are some markers still shown as obstructed? Well, first of all, let's just talk about the new quantum travel and how awesome it is that you can travel around the planet.
Yeah, spline traveling.
It's really cool. I'm a big fan. I think, I just can't get over how it's just like, bravo. I can't. Yeah. It's fragile. Yes, there's a few temperamental buggy with it, but it's like there's tiny. They've solved, in my opinion, everything that I was finding frustrating with travel. Curve going around planets, the ability to be able to choose points now and go to them. It's superb. I even like the way it does the sound, and I hope they do variations on different ships' sounds. For now it's fine, one standard, but it'd be cool, like if the
well, Procedural has its own quantum effect.
Yeah,
I think it's the only ship that has it. But Madness, you don't understand. The new quantum drive system has made the game too easy. Now people are lazy. It's too casual and accessible to the common person.
Yeah, what about everyone that should have to spend 2 days flying around the planet before they get to the place they want to go to?
Commoners.
Those filthy plebs.
The thing is, I did actually have that little bit of a thought when I first saw it. I thought, well, now it's just easy to get to the other side. So it's like, no, don't think that way. Don't think that way. How dare you?
Like, some people were complaining. I was reading Spectrum. I know, big mistake. And some people were complaining that the new system was lowering the skill level, because instead of having to figure out how to get your big dumb reclaimer or starfare full of cargo safely to your destination on the other side of a moon, and then safely land to unload and then load it back up and then take off, now it just puts you right on the doorstep of the outpost. And I'm just like, I kind of agree with you, but also kind of want you to fuck off.
It is kind of like, well, this is the sort of one of the questions, isn't it, for starting? It's like with the longer travel, should it be 8 minutes long to go from planet to planet? Part of me is like, fuck yeah, that's amazing. The other part of me that's like, right, I need to get there quick because I've got like 20 minutes to play. Mm-hmm. This is annoying as fuck. So it's going to be one of those things that I think is just always on debate, depending on your situation, who you are, and what you prefer.
Mm-hmm. I think in all honesty, though, it's a bit of a difficult one, because although when you've got less gameplay, and what we're doing now quite a lot is going and landing on a planet a lot, which means you're doing that. But when you open up the gameplay a lot more and you're maybe not landing all the time, then that's probably became less of an issue, I would have thought, than what we've.
I think that's
it's an issue at the moment because of what we got.
Yeah, the dearth of content, or the lightness of content that we have, that a lot of what keeps you in the game is, like I said with the Constellation in 3.0, learning how to start braking at 40 kilometers out if you're coming, crazy Ivan straight down, and then if you're past 30, you're dead. That was a lot of the content. But, as they start adding missions and interruptions and equipment breaks down, suddenly you're coming in for a landing and, one of your retro thrusters just broke. And now you quickly have to start messing with your power systems to start braking faster, because, you took a hit on that thruster, but you were too cheap to repair it. And then a piece of your heat shielding fails, and now your internals, exactly.
Not you.
I'm sorry, Madness.
In chat.
That's what you got.
I mean, just like, I'm like, same to you, mate.
Like, whoa. No, that's true. It's going to create so much more gameplay in terms of.
No, but
at the moment,
I think if they argue, is it dumbing it down a little bit? Because at the moment it's dumbing it down, but it's because it feels like it's definitely needed.
But the opposite is Helium. Which
how do you pronounce Helium again? How do we
Helium.
You see, like, I respect it for what it is. It's very hard, complicated. I respect that. And people that play that game, I respect those people that play those games. I'm not that person. I don't want to have to feel like I need to take a science exam and go and learn maths, at university level, to be able to play the game, and I haven't got the time or the brain power required to do that. I just want to get, that's why, for me, that location over there, I just want to get there. So I'm really, really happy with it. Get rid of the OM markers or turn them into something interesting that does something else. Then we have a reason for the OM markers, make them something kind of cool. I don't know, stations or something, honestly, personally, the less little targeting things, the better. Personally, so just get rid of them would be fine, and just
I think like I can go into more detail here, but I don't want to take up too much time. I think CIG really wants to, because we're going to have planets eventually, and those planets are going to have moons and stations. I think CIG really wants to give you a lot of content around planets. So when you travel to a new planet, you'll have a lot of stuff to do. But if you want to make that trip between planets, you're going to have to really think about what you're taking with you and what you're going to accomplish at your new destination. It's going to be like moving to a new zone in an MMO or moving to a higher level zone in an MMO. You're going to have to maybe think out your build a little bit. I have to come in here with at least this equipment, or else I'm going to have a bad time. Or come in with a group or something like that.
I think like what Miz said earlier is that.
So I think CIG is really kind of committed to the idea that if you're going to quantum travel for 8 minutes, that 8 minutes is going to have a payout at the end of it.
Yeah. Also, it's a completely different universe. Like, there's so much more. You're going to have to completely rebuild your reputation. Like, if I'm known in the Crusader planetary system, traveling to, can you not hear me?
I can hear you.
I can hear. I can hear you.
Yeah.
I think HC's lost the sound on people. Yeah, I think he's lost his sound. He lost his sound. He's lost
Keep
his
going.
sound.
He's fine. He's lost his sound.
I can't hear him.
He can't hear
Yeah,
him.
what's going
on there?
I'm having to listen to the
'cause I was-
stream.
Yeah, because I was going to say, like, we've had the because I think that maybe to keep the OMs in, you'd have to.
I'm 10 seconds in the past from you guys.
Yeah, we'd have to, but I don't know what's going on with it. Yeah, that would be my way of kind of keeping OMs, I guess, because then we wouldn't have all the markers, like all the locations on planets. You have to find them, or buy the maps for them, and then that way
Restart
Discord.
Yeah, that'll probably help you.
Wait for him to catch up.
Yeah.
As he rudely interrupted Paul.
Like what Miz said is that there's going to be a lot of. Are we still alive?
Yeah, go on.
Yes.
There's going to be a lot of gameplay instead of worry, because at the moment, like one of the whole parts of Star Citizen, or the only things you can kind of do is travel. So when there are things like managing systems, checking the crew, checking your manifest, looking for missions, do everything else that's involved in the game itself, traveling is going to be a byproduct of just doing the missions and doing everything. So
I was saying was, as well as, like, if I have a reputation in Crusader, I may not have that same reputation in Hurston. Just like if I have a reputation in Austin as a as a professional reputation, that doesn't necessarily follow with me to New Orleans, or London. Yeah. Like that won't travel really. There may be some reputation, but so you're going to have to kind of start from scratch in many cases with mission givers and reputation in the system, in a new planetary system, let alone. Yeah. But that planetary system may give you more money, or they may give you something that's more aligned to what you like to do anyways. So that also adds a little bit more of, like, when you're leaving a planetary system, you're going to a new place to start a new life almost.
Yes, quite a big feat.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I guess like the prepping for that sort of thing would be quite intense, because if you get halfway there and you're like, I forgot that. I forgot my favorite weapon. You're not going to jump back again. It's, yeah. Are you back, Vertigo?
He seems he can't connect.
He can't connect.
There we go. I'm back.
Okay.
I can hear you all.
Okay, good. Sometimes you have to restart Discord when that happens.
I did it twice.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Like, not just like leave and come back, but like completely shut down the and come back.
Yep.
Now Madness has disappeared. What's going on?
Everyone's running away. Okay, so why was it blocked? That was the actual question. Why are the quantum jumps blocked? Is it just distance, or is it buggy? Because I had it sometimes and they weren't that far away, and it just wouldn't let me go to it.
Sorry, go on, Paul.
It will block. It will block the OM points if you don't have line of sight to them. It will not block the outposts. So I think the spline jumping is only for outpost right now, but they'll eventually bring in the various OM points. I think it's blocked it
for me, but I do also think there has been elements of bugginess in the things that quantum jumping doesn't always work. So it may be saying it's just obstructed when it shouldn't be. So you can literally I presume it means you can jump anywhere around it. There's not like a limit to how far around the curve you can go.
I don't know, because I've seen some some actual planet side jumps blocked, I don't, because that's the difficulty at the moment, especially on PTU, is figuring out is it a bug or am I just fucking stupid?
Is it just a feature you don't understand that's not documented, or is it an actual bug sometimes?
So how
and
do
as
you
we
test
get,
that?
I think as we start getting more and more complicated interactions, like I was having this recently where it was just like I couldn't fire my guns. I didn't realize it was actually my power that was the problem. My power allocation that was a problem because I had equipped new guns onto my Super Hornet, and then my guns weren't working properly. And I'm just like, oh man, this must be a bug. I was getting ready to fill out an issue council report, and I remembered, oh, that's right, power allocation. That's a thing now. That's a thing now.
I think I actually sat in the ship and I've been away on holiday. This is my excuse, but I sat in the ship and thinking, it's not taking off. Why is it not? Oh yeah, shit, you need to click flight ready. It's like, I know. And I spent ages in the prospector learning, trying to find where to turn it on. I was looking down because everything is down normally. So I'm looking down, looking at the controller, thinking, well, get out the seat. I'm thinking, fuck's sake, the prospector's bugged. I can't turn it on. There's no way of turning the fucking thing on. And then I don't know why. I think I accidentally slipped upwards. I was like, oh, there's some controls up there. That's nice. I even got out the seat to see where the controls went to see if it would work outside of the seat, and I was like, you fucking idiot.
See, I'm a Reliant owner. Luckily I've had the experience with that sort of side of MISC.
Yeah, but it's been ages since I've had
the
Reliant,
there's a tangent.
Two things. You
go ahead,
have
TheAstroPub.
really shitty views and good controls, or really great views and shitty controls.
Yeah, so you don't get both.
Yeah. Both.
Well, if you want good controls.
Sorry. I had to do it for a meme. What's up?
There's an excellent tangent you can run into about accessibility in Star Citizen. Like, I know everybody says accessibility is like this bad word. Ooh, don't say that. Where the Mustang Alpha, every time we have a free flight, this always brings to the forefront the level of knowledge you need to have, and also the MISC Prospector and Reliant having the controls above the pilot. When you come in there, you have a certain expectation with a lot of the ships, and then when you get into a ship that breaks that expectation, suddenly you're just like, oh god, what do I do? Especially a lot of the new players.
Yeah, the learning curve is very big, and I think that's why they tried to get. I don't want to get madness on a roll. I think that's why.
I know that's why this is a tangent.
Tutorials.
Yes.
But I'm not going to get on a rant about anything. What are you talking about?
I just say tutorials are great, especially getting crowdsourced for other people to do those tutorials, because they'll change and they can change it again.
Don't poke the bee's nest.
That's fine. The tutorial that they had before was great, and then it just didn't get updated, and so it got broken.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean,
the game is going to be a learning curve in itself anyway, regardless of whether they have proper tutorials or not. Because it's not a game that someone can just come in and pick up. And we've all been like, Life is Feudal to me was just like, what the fuck am I doing here? And I think I had Asnog just showing me around the whole of and even after he showed me around, I was like, didn't get any of that. So it is going to be difficult. They need tutorials. It is at the moment just down to content creators, streamers, YouTubers, whatever, to explain it to people. So people play alongside while you're streaming, or they're trying to play, and they're like, "How do I do that?" I'll jump on Twitch and I'll see if someone can tell me, and then they go again. So people it is up to
go on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's going to be like that from now till the end, where people are going to struggle to play the game, and it is down to the community. Like, mostly, it should be down to the game, the content, the developers to create a decent tutorial. But at the moment, this is why I haven't done much in tutorials. The game's still being developed.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, why bother? People can take the time and figure it out.
Keeps changing. Every 4 months, it's changing.
Yeah. I could do a mining tutorial, but I guarantee you, in the next 3 months, in the next patch, mining may be completely different. They may change the keyboard layout for mining. They may add 12 other keys to mining, and suddenly my tutorial that I did 3 months ago is no longer valid.
Yeah.
That's something I'm kind of worried about.
Yeah, because that's the truth of the matter is CIG can't be bothered to do the work to update their one. So why the fuck should we be bothered to do? Why should you?
I knew it was going to happen. It's not. It's not about that.
The next question.
Move on quick.
Next question.
I don't want to get him on a roll, but Madness, you can see the advantage of having some kind of tutorial for new players coming in right now.
Yes,
100%. No, I'm not only being a bit of a cock. No, I agree. Yeah. We do need to. I want a tutorial sometimes, because some of the things you guys have mentioned today, I'm like, I don't know that. How would that work?
Yeah.
How does the mining
with
work?
all these new mechanics as well with the mining? It's like, how does that happen?
And sometimes
I also don't want it. Can I be honest? The reason why I don't want it is because I like the element of the skill. I like the element of the
discovery,
the learning myself, the discovery. I like that element of.
Good luck with that when you haven't got a prospect. There's nothing to learn.
You know, it brings people together as well, though. That's the thing. It brings community, like different people who like mining get together to discuss mining and to work closer to figure out how to get mining to work.
When they're not looking,
that's what I like.
Madness swoops in and blows them all up.
Oh, me and Hasty.
Well, let's not mention, the fact that they don't give you a loaner ship.
I mean, there's all sorts of stuff.
So the next question was the prisoner.
Mining stuck behind 140. Oh, is it 120? Is it mining is stuck behind 120 paywall at the moment?
No, $160.
Yeah.
$160 paywall. That is embarrassing, CIG. I'm sorry, that is embarrassing. Especially when I've seen CIG employees. I've seen people in CIG employees say that they think that mining should be, given, the prospector should be given to people.
Isn't that the main thing of patch 3.2? So now anyone that gets that doesn't own one has literally got nothing for that patch.
Yeah. And in previous, you could say that, like, hey, transport only requires an Aurora. It's true. You could just use an Aurora and test out the transport mechanics. But with mining, because it requires a prospector, there's no way
you can do it.
So
yeah. No, I've been saying for a while that CIG should give, because they do allow access to subscribers a ship, a monthly ship. Yeah. They should just grant access to any backer before. This is before the prospector was a thing, to an Avenger or something. Maybe not an Avenger, but something that had the ability to walk in holding cargo. Because literally half the missions are pointless for them, and they can't play it. And I've still got to write to CIG and try and get it on Spectrum so that we can upvote it and stuff to allow anyone who just has a single ship, or just grant everyone access to either a prospector for the sake of 3.2 until 3.3 comes out. Firstly, it allows them to test mining on a bigger scale, allows people to report more bugs. It gives those who can't play more access to it. It removes that whole idea of it's a pay-to-play game, and it just keeps people playing, because that's the biggest thing. People won't buy into the game, and they won't have a good idea or impression of the game if they can't fucking play it. But on the other hand, it's kind of like, well, people have bought these ships, so they should have access to them over someone else. But it's
no, not really. They've bought. You're donating for the development of the game, but you're also picking that ship. But you're picking that ship for when it's live. You're not thinking, oh, I'm buying. I mean, people might be buying it to try it on the PTU, but you're technically buying that ship for when it's live. That's the point. It's not so you've got access over somebody else. Well, at least it shouldn't be. I don't think that's why you should be buying it. You should be buying it so that you've got it when it goes live. At development, it almost makes no sense to not let people have access to something that you want tested. I want you to test this, but we're not going to let you test it because you haven't got one. That's just weird.
And here's the thing, like, especially considering like mining is such a is a fairly complicated gameplay loop in itself. Even the tier 0 implementation. There's a lot of little factors. The mining, the rock resistance, the power level of the laser. There's a lot of math that goes on in the background. A lot of the issues and bugs with mining probably won't show up until a lot of people have many hours into it, and you get a lot of reports on especially reproducibility of those reports, because you're scanning the rocks are procedurally placed. The scanning procedurally determines the rocks. You need to have a lot of people hit these outlier instances. So I don't see why you can't give more people access to the prospector, and this is why this exemplifies why I am super bitter that CIG couldn't get ship buying into 3.2. Even just a stupid kiosk. You put a stupid little kiosk up next to the ASOP terminals that says you buy a ship for X amount of alpha UEC, and it just spawns it at a landing pad, which is possible right now. Just spawns it at a landing pad, and you get that ship, and then when that ship blows up or the wearer takes it out, that's it. You have to buy another one.
I think that would be a good idea, but I don't even think it's down to the kiosks or anything. I think if they just grant people access to more ships for the sake of the fact that it's in development, it just makes sense allowing people to, because they don't want people buying ships, they want people playing the game, because that ultimately is what's going to encourage them to buy more ships.
How do you know you like mining if you haven't actually tested it and played it?
You're not going to spend 160, 150 on a ship if you don't think mining, if you've never tested the prospector. Just grant people access. You don't even need a kiosk, you don't need shopping. Grant
They
them
do it in
access to a
PTU,
handful
so
of
it's
ships.
just give everyone it, and it's not really. It's not. They can't
Just
say they
do it.
can't do it because they can, because they do it in PTU. So
And
don't
they
see
know
why.
for the last year that has been killing the game. That is why people aren't playing it. That is why people are waiting for 3.3.
Yeah.
Just wait and see, guys. Just wait and see. Hopefully,
Hmm.
there's been enough people been saying it.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Every podcast said it.
I'm sorry we derailed it, but I think that's an important point to make.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like this is something they should do. They have the ability to do so. It's not something they haven't done in the past, and at least even for a week, it would be a decent way of getting players to come out and stress test the servers, because you get a lot more stress test with people if it's live, and B, to test out the mechanic.
Yeah.
And Phantom Killer actually, Phantom Killer says about picking your battles and why didn't we bitch about cargo? In fact, we did. We said exactly the same when the Cutlass come out and things like that. It's like, well, let everybody have a Cutlass so they can do proper cargo running.
There's no downside.
So we have said it. We're not just picking one mechanic. We say it for everything because it's about testing the game. It's about giving people gameplay to play. They backed the game. Let them play the fucking game. You know, we can't earn games in ships at the moment. So until we can once they earn games in ships, then take the things away from people.
Earn games in ships.
Earn games in ships.
That's asking a bit too much.
Well, it might be possible.
I always say this: you pay CIG money to develop the game, and as a reward, when the game goes live, you'll be given a specific ship to be able to play. Before that, you've been given access to be a tester, developer, or whatever you want to call it, a tester. You get the privilege, and we get to help them build the game. And that requires us being able to have all the assets for the patches to be able to help improve, give them feedback at every stage. That's not just PTU, because I know fully well people here have been giving feedback after PTU because the bugs continue. There's not, they don't, as soon as it goes live, it's not like, oh my God, it's fixed.
It's not just about bugs though either, is it? It's about mechanics. And the more people you've got playing that can give feedback on whether that mechanic's good or not. The thing is, if you've got people that have bought the miner ship, well, they're the people that are likely to read up all about mining, work out how it's all done and things like that. So, but really you want that to be tested by people that haven't done mining or aren't interested in mining, because you want their feedback as well, because they might be potential miners that hadn't really thought about it, play it and they think, actually this is more fun than I expected it to be, and they're not going to know. So it's like having an unknown basis to go in and get them to test stuff as well. So I think it's about as much about constructive criticism as it is about bug testing.
You know, I would love to see for 3.2 a free flight weekend. Everybody gets a prospector.
They actually said there is a free. Did I see you saying there was a free?
I don't think that's good enough. I honestly don't think that's good enough. I think considering the length of time, but I think every patch, between every game patch that we have, so between 3.2 to 3.3, and depending on what the main focus is in 3.3 in terms of game mechanic, if it's salvage, for example, but until we get to there, the mining and cargo has been the main thing. So everyone should have a mining and cargo vehicle to be able to do that. And then when we go into 3.3, everyone should have a salvage vehicle and a cargo vehicle. You could ditch the mining one if you wanted to, because we've done enough of the mining for that period of time, and then move it on to a rotation for the monthly sub thing. That's fine. Or, but I just feel that every patch, it would go a long way to showing the outside community that Star Citizen is not scam citizen, it's not money greedy, it's not Mr. Scrooge holding all its money. It's serious about building a game with us.
We would get a footload of new players, and it would be word of mouth again rather than the opposite of what it's doing.
And I think Madness, you actually bring up a good point.
You can get a Cutlass and you can get a Cutlass. I mean, wait and see if 3.3 does deliver. Obviously, ships in game.
Yeah, when you can purchase, if you can purchase ships, then we understand that. Then take it away, take the toys away. But until then, give people the toys.
But Madness, here's the thing. Like, I actually have a couple of people who live close to me that watch me, and they
the window.
No, in the same town as me. They watch my stream, and they've told me that they don't subscribe anymore because what they subscribed for was rental credits, and rental credits right now are just useless because Arena Commander is dead. There's no new ships to rent, so you can't really test anything new with the rental ships. I think if they gave subscribers access to more ships, or allowed them to choose a ship, or 2 or 3 ships, they gave them access to 2 or 3, or allowed them to choose a ship for their month instead of just handing them a ship. I think that'd be a great way to encourage more subscribers.
As a subscriber, I don't think I pay my subscription, and it's something I'd just do anyway, just for the sake of it. But I think it's more just the common player, the common backer, which is pretty much an Aurora and a Mustang, starter package. They're the people that need to get access to stuff, because it didn't even cross my mind until I had a second account and tried to play the fucking game, and I was like, I only have an Aurora, I can't do anything.
Yeah.
I have access to enough ships, but
be someone that hasn't got them. Yeah, be the normal person that only buys the game package. Yeah.
If someone is subscribing, they're paying an extra $10 a month, $20 a month. They're okay. I don't think they're the ones complaining about not having ships to play with. It's the backers who have just bought starter packages. They are the ones that are suffering.
And they're not initially. They're probably quite enjoying themselves, probably enjoying the game. They get in, they look around. It's beautiful. Like most of us, when we first ever play the game, we get out of the Port Olisar. You can always see new players because they're the ones standing there looking around, going, "Oh." To be fair, I still kind of do that, but it's the extra length of the gawking.
I can't wait to walk up to him and smack him in the face and then run away.
Choke him out.
Choke him out. I'm the guy slaughtering them at all the time.
I do that, but I'm just on the wrong landing pad. It's like, shit, this is my landing pad.
Star Citizen.
In voice chat.
You're killing the game, HCVertigo. It's only you. You're killing the game.
I'm the death of the game. Jesus Christ.
Welcome. That's pretty brutal. Westworld style.
So talking about beginners, the prisoner. I mean, this is a ship. I suppose maybe because we've got new ships, but this is a question that comes up a lot. But the prisoner asks, "What would you suggest as a starter ship?"
Avenger. Not the Reliant.
But I love the Reliant.
Well, like as someone who's starting the ship, just now.
Well, this is a starter ship, so I presume he's saying. I don't know if he's asking like what starter package or whether just what would you actually consider a starter ship.
We don't know. It's starter profession now as well, isn't there? That's the new thing. It's the starter ship.
Is it based on price?
That's made it more complicated, isn't it? Yeah.
Cutlass Avenger.
It's so many levels.
I think if you can just afford a starter ship, it depends on what aesthetics you like compared to the Mustang to the Aurora. If you can afford to go to an Avenger, you'll have a good all-round ship that can do pretty much all aspects of Star Citizen, except mining. The mechanics that are like mining and salvaging when that comes in. But you'll have a ship that is good for combat. It is good for doing all the missions that are currently available, and you have good protection in that. It's a decent ship for the price, especially. Okay.
So he says a ship to start out with. So if you're gonna forget whether it's a beginner package or whatever, this is your ship to start out with. I suppose it's gonna have to be. You can't just say any ship because
that depends.
The best starter ship for me is the Cutlass.
Here's the thing: like the best for me, I would say the Cutlass as well, but the Avenger, which is cheaper for one, but the Avenger, Titan allows you to do, and this is what Mac Brother mentioned. You can do pretty much all the missions available if you have an Avenger Titan, because many of the missions require you to pick up boxes and have somewhere to put them.
Yeah.
A Mustang right now, you can't do that. An Aurora, very difficult, can be done, but not many boxes can fit inside them. And you can do cargo.
The Avenger is, I forgot, it's bigger now.
It's bigger. It also has a bunch, but like pretty good. It's decently combat capable now.
Yeah.
Like the Avenger is probably the best all around starter ship. And then if you want to get a little bit bigger ship, then the Cutlass.
Yeah, I would say the Cutlass, because it being a 3-man as well, is maybe the next tier up. I think definitely the Avenger. If you're looking for, like, if you scrap the first beginner ones that are limited, if you want something that can do everything, then the Avenger, I would say.
But it does depend on what you're wanting to play. The Titan is
the Titan.
You got the Stalker, which has the bounty hunting, and then the EMP is the Warlock. But the Titan is your base cargo one.
Yeah.
But if you could afford it and you want to do a specific type of gameplay, you could go for the Starfarer. If you want to go for refueling, you could go for the Vulture if that's still available for salvage.
I suppose what he means by that, though, is if you say you went in the Starfarer and you were beginning the game, like this is an argument they've said before, you're not going to have enough money to run that ship. So I suppose it's got to be a balance of being able to actually afford to run that ship with like sort of starter credits, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how much are your ships going to
Avenger?
Yeah. I would say the Avenger just overall. But at the same time, it's important to remember that starting with a Aurora or a Mustang is perfectly viable. Like, there's nothing wrong with the Aurora or the Mustang overall, and the Aurora does allow you to pick up cargo as well, like boxes and stuff like that.
Yeah, you can do cargo runs, can't you?
Yeah, I'm still waiting for the ability to shove the small little pickable and the handheld boxes into the store all thing. I'm waiting for that day to happen.
Yeah. Do you know, talking about like price to run ships, this is how sad I am. I take a ship and I write down all the components and how much, because obviously they have said that prices of ships are going to be more component based soon. But just the Aurora LX alone has 2 coolers, 2 shield generators, 1 radar, 1 ship computer, small computer, 2 fuel intakes, 2 fuel tanks, 1 quantum drive, 1 jump module, and 1 quantum fuel tank. It has 2 lots of Strike Force 2 missiles. It has 2 M3A lasers, and it's also got the availability of 2 more sites. So that's a lot of components. So when it comes to actually buying stuff to kit, like if you find an Aurora LX as just a hull, there's a lot of stuff. If you break all that down and sell them in individual parts, you're going to make quite a killing from that if you find some ones. I just brought that in there because that is what I do.
That's a good reason why to blow up Auroras to find the right one.
Target Auroras. I'm sure you can make.
Just mine them until you find the right one.
If you jump out your ship, I won't kill you. Let them jump out and be like, "Thank you."
Do you know what
I need your pants, your shirt, and your keys to your keys to your Aurora.
your motor ship.
Is it the 100i, the Origin starter ship?
Yes.
Which I thought was going to be a year-round starter pack. Nope, it was a limited availability starter pack.
That one,
salty.
That starter pack, because it's got LTI, could be the better one of all of them.
If you've got it. If you haven't got it, it's tough.
If you've got it. If you were smart enough to get it when LTI, before the LTI kind of became...
When LTI meant nothing, you mean?
When LTI meant nothing, it was,
There is something they're doing with the Aurora, though, which we don't know when it's going to happen, which is they're taking the idea of the 100i's entryway of, instead of it having to go into a canned animation of climbing a ladder for the Aurora, you're going to be able to climb up the ladder carrying a box freehand, if that makes sense.
Just a ramp.
Yes, exactly. So at the moment, the Aurora stops you from bringing a box in because it's like you have to kind of jump and throw the box.
You mean like steps rather than a ladder?
Yeah, but it's steps that you will be able to just, without going into an animation, just walk up. So you'll be able to carry your box and use it as you would an Avenger with a cargo hold. So that is going to change, but I don't think it's going to be in time to allow the players waiting on 3.3 between now and then to be able to use it.
That would be nice to just have a little ramp that just falls out of the door and you just walk right out
onto the floor. You go
like a tongue.
I've got a question for you about unless anyone wants to carry on. It was about struts and views. Have you discussed this already?
Oh, yeah.
You did because it's on. It was just on Reddit. Someone posted a picture of it's on 36, line 36 on the doc Miz.
It's going to be the Eclipse.
Not the Eclipse. It's also the blade. The new blade has.
That's what I meant. Sorry, the blade. That's what I meant, but that's not.
The Cutlass.
This is just the Cutlass, and he's just talking about. And this is just again. It does. I mean, again, this is the constant. He's just big thing is why is there a massive. We've already got like 5 million screens in front of us. And now
why not lower that to be in level with back of the screens? If you're going to have a strut and say it needs to have a strut, why not put that lower down so it's behind the screens? I know there's just.
It does seem to be.
We love struts.
A constant. They do love their strut. I mean, I don't know. It's one of those ones. You need to have some to kind of make it feel a little bit. But
just like the Reliant does. Oh no, wait, it doesn't.
I think if any ship that's more orientated towards combat should have a clearer view, whereas things like the Freelancer, which could be more of a transport, or the Mythic whole series.
But people keep saying that, but that's not true. Like I was at the airport this week, and like they come off the plane, and you go on the buses that take you just to the station. The windows are fucking huge on them. There's pretty much like the whole front of the bus is a window, and the whole back of the bus is a window with no struts or anything in the middle of it. It's just a big view. There's
but
no
you're not
reason
flying
to
a
reflect.
Bus through the air, are you? No, I agree.
What's that got to do with it's not combat. Thing.
I agree. There is a logic behind having your ability to see what you're fucking doing. There is a logic behind it.
Like, if you see truckers, they have more mirrors than any normal car. Like, they have mirrors all over the place, and you know, like, so they can see behind them. Some of them have cameras inside the truck now, so that they can see the reversing. So it's like the maximum view possible in a truck compared to a normal car, even. So that transport argument doesn't really hold in real life now. So.
But a spaceship's not going to crash into other cars, There's nothing. It's just space.
Then why do you need to have it boxed up anyway?
Well, until you get into like a spaceport with your Hull E, and then suddenly you're running over newbie Auroras, and you're racking up the crime stat because now you're the monster, not HCVertigo.
Then you're in court.
Then you're in space court.
Yeah, it was the struts. I've complained to Misk about this, and they didn't listen. Why am I to blame?
And then Misk has to tweet back at you. Unfortunately, we have found science has found that our struts do not cause people to become mass murderers.
A Moby tweet.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of the Vandal from the ATV? I think it's on 195. Is the
the facial.
Think of
the facial thingy.
The struts are kind of like being talked about forever. I think that's just something they'll have to fix over time.
The only thing I think is that they showed off all this. He said it's a new face tech with loads of enhancements on it, and then all they show you is this lip gun.
Yeah,
it's like, come on, show us a bit more.
That's a lot of the ATVs this week have been rather kind of watered down, in my opinion. Especially the last one. The last one was like 10 minutes of content, and lore makers. Here's lore makers for the rest of the episode. I'm like,
can I make a statement? I do a lot of lore, and I like lore, and it's kind of the other thing I do. But I even recognize that lore makers is not as popular as the rest of the other things, and it feels more like padding. And it feels like they're justifying that lore makers and bug smashers exist by putting them into ATVs rather than making their video guys work to make a bunch more content that nobody wants. But I still like it, and there's still enough people who like it. So it's like,
I love lawmakers, and I love binge watching on the playlist and just letting them go. But now when they're on ATV, I think personally they deserve their own playlist, their own individual set of videos. And it is like I've said before, I don't mind if they have an 8-minute ATV. I'm fine with that. The information is the information. If there's nothing more to tell us, that's fine. It actually makes our lives as content creators a lot fucking easier anyway.
But some people lose their minds over it because they think that, it's the end of the game's drying up. They're not telling us any information. It's the end. It's a scam. They're running out of money. Oh my god! But the problem
But surely we're not that stupid that we know that even if you put bug smashes at the end of it, But when these people are not going to be that stupid that if you put bug smashes, there's no more extra content. It's just adding something different on the back, which we already knew was a separate entity. So it's not you're not fooling us.
3.2.
And the reason why they're doing it, I was like, here's my idea. Here's my theory why they're doing it is they're crunching to get 3.2 out by the end of this month.
Yep.
So they got better shit to do than putting evidence in front of a camera for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Very much could be.
And everybody was pointing at Chris Roberts. The last ATV, he looked rather haggard. Unshaved, unkempt. He looked tired. Honestly, his shirt had some wrinkles in it. He wasn't wearing his usual pressed, turtleneck that was, very fancy, and he had his head stubble showing. And it was just everybody's like, "Wow, Chris Roberts." Yeah, Chris Roberts really looks like he's ready to give up the ghost. It's all a scam. Like, no, he's probably tired from working nights and weekends on getting 3.2 out.
It probably looked at Reddit.
Here's my thing with it is like lore, I agree. I think lore should be in its own box. I think bug smashers should be in its own box. I think they're too great. They're too small, neat little shows, how long they are. They should be as they were. I think they were really good where they were. I agree with Mac. Being able to watch them one after another if you want to is a great thing. Once you chop them and put them into ATV, it makes no sense to me. The name of it is Around the Verse, okay? So if you're going to want to pad for any reason, want to add a few extra things, why don't you just find out what you have community managers. Why don't we do what we did before for a little bit and just show off some of the videos, do some of the artwork that people do. Like there's a show called...
Because nobody watched that. Because nobody fucking watched that. Like, in fact, they actively complained about it.
No, but actively complained about MVPs and all that stuff.
Yes, people actively complain about what we do.
People complain about everything.
Like, I'm not even kidding you. Like, the amount of people who give no shits about content creators in Star Citizen community is too damn high. And that's the reason why I would see
people who make
some of these people. They don't care. They don't care.
Until you cockpit a Vanguard next to the Rex Javelin on Daymar and have an orgasm on stream over it, nobody fucking cares. Like, literally, you have to have the best money shot of your life in Star Citizen before anybody gives a shit. I like that clip has twice the more views than anything else in my clip repertoire. That is it. That is the clip.
But you're one person of 2 million.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So there are going to be lots of, like, they already showed they showed Captain Richards at the beginning of this one mining somebody and killing them, you know, and it was quite amusing.
As if it doesn't exist.
Some guy called Captain Richards, but you know, there's and that's just the video content. Like, they always, I mean, he always shows off like one of the 600i video recently where someone put a video together. There's always people doing videos. There's always that, but there's also people make shit, drawings. Like I was saying, Critical Role is a show where there's a pause period where they show all the artwork that are drawn for the show, and it is stunning. And I mean, I'm into it, so I enjoy it. But it's beautiful, and I just think that
nobody watches that.
It could be like 5-6 minutes, and just to add that on, rather than adding on something else.
If it's not information specifically about Star Citizen fans don't give a fuck. Why do you think the number one show, number one YouTuber on Star Citizen is Board Gamer? Because Board Gamer does, I love Board, but he does nothing but information, and that's all that people give a shit about. Like, there are people out there
taking the big thing and condensing it. That's what people want. People don't want to have to sit through an ATV. People just want the cliff notes.
People certainly don't want to sit through a 3-hour podcast talking about shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, so
I agree with you, Matt. I agree with you, Matt. I agree. I think
it's around the verse. Around the verse is like, but we're all part of.
Ultimately, you cannot please everyone. It's just got to do what you feel is good. And we've seen this with a lot of shows. We've seen it with loads of things where the shows change. We get new ones. They add new things. At the moment, I think it's just keep them separate, because I don't think uploading a video takes too much more time out of adding it to the end of another video. That's the video's already pre-recorded anyway. They're just adding it to the end. It's the same video. They're just not uploading it separately. Just give us an 8-minute ATV. I'm not bothered that if the developers are working hard to get 3.2 out, that's fine. The ATVs can be short. It doesn't matter.
I agree. That 10 minutes is fine.
Just keep them separate. They don't need to buff it with something else. Just keep it separate. I get there could be. I understand why they could be doing it. I don't know for sure. No one does, other than the IG.
If they do 10 minutes back all the time, people might start to say, "Hang on a minute.
If they did 40
how much money a month?"
Guys, we're just not really going anywhere. So
we're running out of time.
We're not really just going over the same thing. Basically, what Paul said is correct. People don't give a shit. So
wait a second. A little bit of madness is going over something that we have to say.
The fact that I have to interrupt shows you how much he's going over the same shit. Like, I put up with a lot, but it's like,
we need a moderator for this conversation.
Let's move it on.
Okay.
Let's move on.
So on the similar theme though, about the lawmakers, Mr. Not Calexus, I swear, says, I'm a big fan of the AstroPub and his Galactic History segment he does. I listen to it a lot during the day when I'm travelling at work. Thank you very much, listener. Please come again. What are the chances that CIG will give up a solar system that we, the backers, can populate with interesting history and great story arc?
Probably exactly 0%.
No, I think very high. I think almost 100%.
They do listen to us already, you know.
Here's the thing. They've even said that one of their goals is for players to find these new jump points, and we do know that there are going to be planets and systems that they've created that they haven't told us about, which are going to be for players to find and or interact with. And I think the cornerstone of Star Citizen, other than cloud-based technology and freelancer at the MMO, was player decisions matter. So making a player decision matter also means that you have an impact on the universe that as a whole. So having an impact on the Star Citizen universe so that you find a new system, even though it's named Poopy McStupid Pants system. Poopy McStupid Pants could have its own lore because people will then buy like land plots in there. The UEE may get involved, and the players can kind of dictate how these things will go forward. That's one of the big cornerstones of Star Citizen, is that the lore is made by the players, not just by the developers.
Yeah,
and how they interact with each other.
I mean, those planets that we do find may have a slight bit of lore already with them, like predetermined by what they have decided. Because the planet would have been there for a while; it is undiscovered by UEE, but there may be like other people that have been there settled before. There might be things that they've decided to put as points of interest. But like Paul says, we are going to be defining a lot of what happens, and they want the economy, a lot of it, and the missions to be player driven anyway. So they said if you take out Captain Richards, if you
take him out for no reason,
if you take out Dread Pirate
Roberts, yeah,
you're going to be forever known as you're making that law. Players are making law in that way, and you will find a planet. You will, as Paul's saying, you'll populate that with your own things. You will set up mining outposts and all these other things, and it will populate by players and ultimately be determined by players. But they will have some influence on it. It's not going to be 100% players, but it is going to be a big part of it.
Can I ask a question? Just because this all smells like bullshit. What is the
Welcome to Star Citizen?
What kind of game does this already? Just so that I know it's not. I'm honestly, this sounds insanely like never gonna fucking happen. But I'm just.
Do you think? Are you just one of these people that thinks that because something hasn't been created yet, it'll never happen?
I'm just wondering if we've already seen games like Minecraft and Space Engineers. All you got to do is step up to the next level, and you can actually make those an MMO out of those games.
Okay, so because that's what I'm looking for. I'm just looking for a point of like I'm trying to grasp with. Okay, I.
So the idea is there are unique. And I'm like there are unique. The concept is they're going to have unique NPCs that will be killable. Think of something like Fallout 4, where all of the raider bosses have names in Fallout 4, and they all have lore. And if you kill a certain raider boss in a certain way, you can go in and you can actually see some of their terminals or some of their notes, and you can see them talking about you overthrowing some of the other raider bosses. And so and in the order that you did, because that's how they get their information. So it'd be something similar to that, where like they're going to have in-game news service, something like in Fallout the radio, or the radios in GTA 5, which kind of update as events are going on in the universe. They'll just update them where like, hey, the news service talks about the a citizen named blah 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 killed the renowned Dread Pirate Roberts today, or last week, and a very vast with thank you for your service, citizen, or whatever. Yeah. It'll be a little something like that. We're not talking about major stuff, but we're talking about small things which will end up leading to big things. They've also talked about things like the Terra Earth Civil War, which they've been hinting at and they've been talking about openly since Kickstarter, which is one of the major events that's going to happen in the universe. That players' decisions on who they side with will determine it. Something like Elite Dangerous does this similarly with their community events, where you can choose one side or another, and sometimes those community events you can be opposing one side rather than both doing the same stuff. So it's been done before.
And if like a community event got something happened that I suppose CIG saw as a significant, interesting thing. I don't know, like if there's two massive orgs that had a war or a battle, that may well, the Daymar rally, something like that. Someone they might like it enough to think, you know what, let's put that in lore. So I can see that happening.
Well, they did that for EVE Online. They had that massive battle.
Fight. Yeah, and they put the black thing in space, didn't they?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't a plaque. They actually put
made the news or something. Oh, the Rex, was it? Oh, okay.
Yeah. They actually made like Forbes, I think. They talked about how much money was lost in the spaceships, like because ISK has an actual real world corollary in dollar value.
I got interested in EVE only because I read about that on the Metro in London, and they were talking about EVE online, and I read it, and then I was like, oh, what is this EVE? And then I started playing the game because of it. So I was like, that sounds pretty awesome.
There you go.
and I quit after about 6 months because it was boring.
Yeah.
Spreadsheets. Yeah, it was just like, oh, why am I doing this? I'm not an accountant. Okay, I was just curious. Like I said, I'm playing the, asking the question. We can go pie in the sky, but I want to know a little bit more, like how it's going to happen. That's cool. And then I don't. Was there anything else in ATV that was pretty good? Oh, they saw the trees.
The weather, yeah.
The trees.
Weather, trees.
Cool. More trees.
Do you think we'll have weather for 3.3, or is it just going to be basic wind, maybe, or is it just a test bed?
Winds? No, I've got that already. We don't need 3.3 for that.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, people are going, "Oh, the trees are amazing," but I wouldn't say they were amazing. I mean, they look good, but I know.
I mean, they'll look better from orbit. And then you get close. Close one eye. Don't get too
the only
close.
thing this made me think of is when it's like Arc and everything fucking sways. I hate that. Everything, like all the grass sways, all the trees sway. It's like,
well, that's how you make
OTT. The reason why they did this is because they're doing this for procedural weather. So
I'm not moaning at this, but
which way that's going to move, that kind of stuff.
I just said that's what made me think of, but I mean, Arc does it. Like when you go in Arc, it's just a constant, like as if there's a storm constantly, because everything's like shit. How do I turn this off?
This isn't part of Speed Tree, though, is it? This system. This is a separate system, isn't it? So the Speed Tree just does the tree making, the variety of the trees, right, Paul? And then
I don't know
the actual
lumberyard
way that they make the trees.
They're showing that off in lumberyard, so I presume it's just part of lumberyard stuff.
I just need a chainsaw. That's all I'm saying. We need a chainsaw. And lasers. I wonder how far does the laser go? What's the kilometers radius on it? The distance on it? Does anyone know?
What, the mining laser?
Yeah. How far does it go?
100 meters, I guess.
Just 100 meters. That's not.
Yeah,
that's not too
it's very
bad.
short.
So that you could have a couple of those, or just kind of like maybe we could get like in those old school games where you had the spaceship going across and you could attach things to the front and to make the lasers suddenly be split into lots of different lasers. And there's like 2D game where you should go across the screen. I forget what the name of them are. That would be kind of cool if you could get an attachment to your laser to turn it into like a disco ball kind of laser and just fires out.
Go through Paul
slice.
Good. Yes, now it could be even more of a monster. I like the idea. I can cover all 50 entrances at once.
Oh, mirrors. That would be super cool. Anyway, I wonder, does anyone try to mirror it and see if it can deflect it?
No.
In a different direction. I think you just melt it.
Just shine it on a
Yes, I have that other perspective that just carries a giant mirror around with it.
No, yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be giant compact. It pulls a giant compact out of its back.
Need to
powdering your nose.
One of the stations, the stations, they have the kind of the mirror, kind of like the sundial things on the side. Maybe just laser one of those and see if it deflects.
Oh my
God. Have we tried it against a probe? Saying that, the new probe missions.
I don't know.
Because it takes quite a while to shoot them down. So lasering them, you'd be like
Prospector for the win.
Oh! Somebody just mentioned it. Get some concierge members with the concierge gold armor.
Gold suit.
Try to see if it shine it off them. Shine it off them. See if that works.
If the few was here, the gold team, that would be brilliant. We could line them all up. In fact, I vote for that. We line up all these 27K plus people. We have to start a camp first. We have to guess camp. We have to concentrate them in this camp.
Listen, the last time I was on a podcast where we joked about concentration camps and ended up on Reddit, and people called fucking Shiver a goddamn Nazi. All right.
Let's moving on.
Mow down the goal.
What's next? What's next on the docket? Moving on. I think I went too far.
I think that is enough. I think we're done. Aren't we?
The name tags in chat.
Oh, name tag. Yes. Oh, yeah. No, God, yeah.
That's a new thing.
Yeah, name tagging, amazing, and grouping up. Like,
and you can click on the face.
Add to context. That's really cool.
And it's not just living people you can add to contacts. I found this out on my rampage recently. You can actually add dead people to your contacts.
That guy's like, are you fucking serious? No.
It's just my nuts.
Add them to your party. You can also add dead people to your party.
I had Rilo Star, one of my viewers, try to come join me in my massacre of All-Star today, and I killed him. And I'm just like, who was that? And I click on his corpse, add to contacts, and I check who was added to my contacts. Oh, Rilo Star, that was you.
Sorry, mate.
Glad to be of service. Here's your lead. Here's your free case of lead poisoning. Welcome to America.
It's yeah, I'm.
So it's a good progress forward. Good first initiation of the group, I think. Definitely.
But then you could do that. But here's my thing: is can you do that the other way? So when you're dead, if there was a way you could get that person before.
Oh my God, you are so
stupid. Able to know.
You are so fucking stupid. If you're dead, can you use inner thought to identify the person that killed you?
No. I'm just like, well, if you murder someone, then I'm like, I know it's not right. I'm like, is there a way? Because I was thinking a way to find out who killed you. Because like you know who you killed, but I don't know who killed me. So it'd be kind of cool to know. I know. I know. I'm just stopping now.
Someone get a HCVertigo bag so we can breathe.
I'm just shooting your glasses.
Madness out.
Wow.
Sleep debt.
I mean, I don't know. Like, if they're teabagging you, it's probably me. I just
you got your name label on the on your arse cheek of your arm.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got my. Well, that's how you figure out which underwear is yours at camp.
Quick click.
I think on this picture, you feel like that helmet, space helmet, actually, it feels like it should be filled up with water.
It does.
Just fill it up with water. Yeah.
I like how he looks up to look at his name.
Yeah, it's like, get that off me. Get it. Can you see your own name tag actually?
No.
What I've noticed is the space helmets seem to be cleaned by somebody that doesn't have a cloth with sand on it. Because all my spaceship cockpits have been ground down in the corners. Everywhere.
Okay. Have any of you gone into the Nox? Have gone to the Nox?
It's awful. No.
Have any of you driven the Nox recently?
No.
Oh my God, the view out of the fucking front of that damn thing is hideous now. You can't see shit anymore. The glass effect is terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, the glass effects is the glass effects, and I'm hoping that this is going to be to that certain state, to a wear state. So you have to clean it properly, and then it will get beautifully polished, and then it will wear over time, type of thing. But at the moment, it's just in the corners of my Gladius. Like, I'm no joke. I was like, what the fuck? Who did that to my shit? It's terrible.
I'm going to shoot the guy that cleaned them windows.
I'm going to kill the person.
When you get to the traffic lights in space and someone sort of EVAs over with a bucket and sponge and stuff.
No. A bucket and sponge in space. You need a bucket of ice.
Can you transfer some funds? No,
pulls out a smoky glass.
I want that as a job. That is a fantastic idea. That is absolutely on. We should have them on at Port Olisar. There should be people going around with like little buckets and stuff, cleaning. Cleaning
Just reach over in your 600i and lock the door. Click.
Squeezing them up. Just completely covered it in foam. Oh my God.
And he gets a rake out. He starts scratching up. What are you doing? I have no idea. And that's how your view out of your cockpit got so fucked up in your Eclipse, because the guy pulled up to a wrong lead light. The guy had a rake to clean it. And Paul's gone. Paul's dead, I guess.
Oh, that's so. I'm just seeing the person doing it. That is brilliant. I love the idea of that. That is, and I can see him in like a kind of like a Robin, like a 3-wheel type of vehicle, kind of like painted. He's got Mrs. in the Mrs. Window Cleaning Services. I can just see it.
Just pulling up in like a converted dragonfly with a giant bucket.
It'll be a prospector, but then instead of a hose, like a laser, it sprays foam suds on the front.
Like a brush.
There you go. It's a drop top too. They cut the top of it off so it has no cockpit. It's just flying it around.
It's a career. It's a career in the game. It's going in. 3.3 is delayed whilst we get window cleaning in.
What is that? What the career is called? Is that what they call it?
I don't know.
Holy shit, Brim! Thank you very much there, sir, for a whole year.
Oh, wow. Good stuff.
Yeah. What is wrong with you?
Yeah, what's wrong with you? You subscribed to this shit for a year. Well, I don't know if he's gone, but Brim did actually ask a question, so I'll quickly ask it.
Oh, he's gone.
But he's gone anyway. But so he's said, "Hi guys, I'm just throwing this out there. I would love to go to a Bar Citizen on the evening they are streaming the actual Citizen Con in October, so we can all have a pint and watch together. I haven't seen any Bar Citizens proposed yet on that day, especially close to me in Hampshire. I've been thinking about scoping a pub location in London, somewhere for around 20 to 30 people if I can get a location for about the right amount of money. I don't mind paying the bill, blah blah blah, in front." With Asylum's help plus the Bar Sit Discord and Spectrum, do you think I could drum up enough interest? I remember them having a massive one in Florida last year that went well. I would hope either Miz or Elbom or both could attend and help me with the tech side of things, and I hope it's got TV. Do you think it's a good idea?
It was Texas, and yes, it's a good idea.
Yes, it's a great idea.
There is already one in London, the Namco. Didn't you go to that madness?
Yeah, that's the one Brim came as well. I've got a met.
Oh, did Brim go to that?
Yeah, I met him there as well. 100%. I think.
You're going back for like a watch party though for the Citizen Con.
We should do it. I mean, I think it wouldn't be a problem. I think it would be a case of just hook up with the people who do the normal one that would go to the Namco guys, and then we'd probably just advertise it more and just make a thing about it and just be like, yeah, we've got a big party, Star Citizen people come along. I'll definitely be up for it. I mean, London, I live there, so you know, I'd look at my schedule and make sure that I have some free time so that I would come and do it. So yeah, 100%, I'm in. If I can do it, I'll book in advance. Advance is better because then I can book it down and then I can sweet talk the lady. Advance.
Well, we know when. Do we know when it is? Yeah, we know when it is.
We know the date of when it is, so I'll just make no babies, so should be okay.
No more babies.
No more babies.
Okay, so we'll look into that definitely.
Yeah, 100%. I think that'd be cool. We're sponsored by the Asylum. We'll make it happen.
That was the last question.
Sponsored? What, the bar tab?
The bar tab.
Paul, your services are needed.
We need the robot version.
Yes.
Scan him in. Yay! That would be awesome, actually. We do a live video link to Paul. We can put it like a big screen.
I will definitely be at Citizen Con since it's in Austin this year. So I don't know if you'll be a live video link. You could be a live video link of me being like, this is how you mix this drink like that. Okay.
Are you taking your cocktails? You need to take your cocktails down there.
Mm-hmm. I think they'll take my cocktails because I think they have their own booze and stuff like that they sell there. So
yeah, it'd be weird if you start sitting there mixing your own drinks in front of the barman. It's all right, I've got my own. It's fine.
Yeah,
you're gonna IRL,
aside, sir.
Paul. You're gonna IRL the event, yeah?
I'll IRL the event. Yeah. Sweet. Yeah, I'm definitely do that, but it'll be just me and everybody else IRLing the event.
Well, that's okay. But do we know if they've sold out on the tickets yet?
No, because they pulled them away, didn't they? Because it was embarrassing to have them up there. I mean, that's not why they did it, but it's why they did it. It's not why they did it.
I mean, the problem is that they sold more tickets this year for CitizenCon than they've ever sold before. Just the premium tickets alone was about the size of the last two CitizenCons, which is about 600. Wow. And then they also sold an additional almost maybe over 1,000 regular tickets. So there are like 1,600 plus people who are going here. I think it's around that. It's between 1,000 and 1,600 who have purchased tickets thus far. And I believe there's less than 1,000, maybe around 1,000 tickets left. But it may seem embarrassing, but it's on a Wednesday. It's in Austin. It's the first time they've had this many people ever, this many options open ever. So
it's better to have too much than not enough.
Well, no.
Yeah. Well, no.
Yeah, no, not really, because you have to pay for the venue, so it's not good.
Well, I'm sure oh yeah, fair point.
Yeah.
But I think you'll see more people trying to buy it closer we get to CitizenCon. I think a lot of people are still working out their own personal finance stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people that don't know whether they can get that time off until closer to the day as well, because it's a Wednesday, so it's
it'll be like, fuck you, I'm off.
Yeah, you really have to kind of make it a week of it, and a lot of people are not going to make a week of it because they would have gone on a Friday and that kind of stuff too. So.
You'll get those people as well. You'll get a number as well who won't be able to make it because life situations change as well. So those tickets will become available as well. Probably not too many, but they that is always a thing as well. So it'll be interesting to see if any of those premium ones. Oh no, you can't sell them, can you? They don't allow you to do it. It's not like a ticket. No. So if you can't go, you're fucked.
No, you can refund.
Yeah,
sometimes.
They're account bound.
No, I don't think you can do
get
that.
account unless you got the War Bond LTI version. That joke's never getting funny, right?
Har. And on that wonderful LTI note, I think we'll leave it.
Good place to leave.
I think we're all done. There's no more questions. So
oh, there's more questions, but that's good enough.
There's no
so
more
mining
questions.
is we
Did we cover mining? Yeah.
No more mining.
I'd buy you a drink, but I'm a minor.
Fix.
They're done.
Wow.
we're gonna use it though.
Those 10 people that are about to hit the follow button just didn't hit the follow button. Thanks very much.
So
Yeah.
so does everybody want to tell us what they're up to this week? We'll round it off and then we'll finish up. So Madness, you're buggering off. So
I'm going to be I'm off to Vietnam if you didn't know. So I will be off Wednesday. I fly on Wednesday for 2 weeks. So yeah, I've got a big conference presenting all my shoes and stuff to everyone basically. So hopefully I'll be saving some shoes. Hopefully they'll be fixing stuff when I'm out there. But I'll probably my IRL if I can on Wi-Fi, depends where I am. Probably just do like Twitter pictures and shit like that, so you can keep up to date with shoes if you're interested.
Stalkers know where he is.
Yeah, exactly right. I fully intend to see, who was the name? Xylo guy. He'll probably arrive, I think, probably outside my hotel.
Who's that Xylo guy?
UI editing team.
He'll be like, what are you doing here? It's like in a space engineer's suit. I'll be like, what's happening? Not big enough. Not big enough for that. But so yeah, that's what I'm doing. But I'm going to be focusing on there's a few things we want to improve on the layout for the asylum. We've had some really great feedback from people. Really appreciate people who give feedback and stuff. You know, it helps us better the stream. So we're going to look at the layout, try and make some improvements, bring chat on board and other things. So I'm going to look at that whilst I'm away, and a few other things for YouTube as well. We're having a chat about some other content that we want to do and all sorts of stuff for the next part of the year, because we've got to a place now, I think, where we're stable with our D&D and this show, so we want to try and do some other things. Just got to get past work. Work at the moment is just a pain in the ass. It's just a pain.
Yeah, I know. Work gets in the way of the stuff you really want to do.
It really does. Oh, and and I got a cool tablet. I don't know if anyone, I'd said that, but last week I think I did. It's an awesome tablet. I'm loving the tablet. So it's
aspirin.
I'll be back streaming as soon as I can. Follow D&D and follow this channel, and I'll be streaming in probably about a month. Back streaming again.
Mr. Vertigo, what are you up to?
Oh, I'm up to streaming Star Citizen. We're still going through Wing Commander 4. Murdering people at Alisa. Yes. Murder most foul. Yes, but we're also doing Wing Commander 4, and we're occasionally deep. Yes, bad for griefing. People they've tried. They've been sending me very, very
colorful
upset messages. Yes, colorful messages through in-game chat, and I've been reading them out loud to my stream chat, and we've all had good laughs over them. So it generates endless amounts of comedy. We've also been trying to go back into Battlefield 4. We've actually had quite a few members of my community taking interest in Battlefield 4 because it still has a thriving community, even though Battlefield 5 is just around the corner. Not a lot of people are super interested in Battlefield 5 in my community, but there is people talking about it.
I don't think there's a lot of people who are super interested in Battlefield 5, period. Honestly, at this point.
It's quite unfortunate that, what was it, Medal of Honor recently just went back, and sort of didn't Call of Duty do it as well? World War II recently? I kind of feel, no, they did Infinite Warfare. But yeah, Medal of Honor did.
Call of Duty, not Medal of Honor.
No, isn't Medal of Honor, I thought Medal of Honor was separate from Call of Duty, was a separate franchise.
Yeah.
And one of the franchises recently went back to World War II, and that was pretty much, and everybody saw like Battlefield 5 was just announced with World War II theme, and everybody was like, why?
Yeah, Battlefield 1 was World War 1, but
coincidence?
Basically, we're just running out of wars. We need to have more.
We need to have more wars.
Yeah. Space Wars. Space Wars.
Space Wars.
For video games.
We need more. World War III,
More
please.
death for the video game gods.
we have no
inspiration.
Yeah.
Excellent. Not Madness, we've had that one. Mac, what are you up to this week?
I have just today got my sub. I know it's been a while. Don't shoot me. But I've got my sub badges, tier emotes, and things. Just for you guys. It's taken me months. I apologize. But yeah, they're in now. Don't go too far. I am back to doing some more videos. Got some 3.2 videos coming on YouTube, which I'm focusing on trying to get some Eclipse footage, some Hurricane footage, and the armors and weapons, the FPS weapons. Plus, I'm going to start doing more of just a general gameplay series on YouTube of single player, multiplayer, just to please miserable.
Fuck you.
Just playing the game, just having a good time. Streaming as usual this week, although Thursday swapping with Friday because I'm working on Thursday instead of Friday. So catching on with it all, playing more prospecting, mining stuff, and having fun basically, or trying to.
Excellent. And finally, the AstroPub.
Well, this week I've got a Galactic Historian. I'm going to be talking about, what was the name of that? It's a very specific event in the history of Star Citizen that has to do with Station Damien, OP Station Damien, which is in Star Marine. It's called the Walzer Massacre, and we're going to talk a little bit about that, about kind of like piracy and outlaw versus the advocacy, as well as kind of like there's a couple of different places. I also want to cover what's called the Keller's Run, which is another kind of event that happened in the same system earlier that kind of drove this system to kind of more chaos. So we'll be doing that on Wednesday. On Thursday, we'll probably be doing Star Citizen all week just because it's 3.2 release. But I'm also planning on tomorrow releasing a first of my new kind of part of the Galactic Historian, which is called Historical Questions, where I just kind of answer questions that I've seen pop up on Reddit or the Spectrum or other places that that weren't really answered. Questions like, how common are spaceships? Does the UEE have a throne? These kind of little questions you wouldn't expect us to allow for an entire episode to be answered. Just small little things like that.
Q&A,
so we'll be doing that. Kind of, but and encouraging people to ask other questions, the smaller questions, something that won't take me the 10-minute long usual lecture or like a 10-minute long video to answer, but something that people have want answers for. So that'll be coming up tomorrow, and then pretty much just Star Citizen, Captain's Table on Saturday. Well, we may not have Captain's Table on Saturday because my parents are coming into town on Thursday, so we'll see.
Yeah. Have you tied it up?
Yes, that's part of the plan.
And tidied up.
It's always like this. What do you mean?
Yeah. Okay, excellent. And myself, I'll be doing D&D on Friday, as usual. Continuing our story, which is going quite well so far. We may have a special guest as well as not having that. That's a shame. But no, that's going well. Our D&D is going really well now. It's hopefully getting better each week. But I'm enjoying doing it. And I don't know if I'm doing it this Wednesday or not. I have to talk with Des, but might be doing Paint, Prattle and Roll on Wednesday night, which is me painting models. Mostly D&D or Warhammer figures. Although Critical Role are releasing a new Kickstarter one. So if someone buys them, they're more than welcome to send them to me and I'll paint them because they look awesome. But other than that, I'll be playing some more Star Citizen, hopefully, and whatever. So yeah, you can find me on this channel. You can find, if you missed the start of this podcast or any other podcast or our D&D, if you're interested in D&D, you can go and find it on our Asylum YouTube channel. All the videos get uploaded to there. Otherwise, thanks everybody for joining us. Thanks Mac, Vertigo, AstroPub for coming on as guests, as always. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Putting up with my dumb jokes.
Let's find someone to raid. That's a good point.
Thanks.
Thanks everybody for all the bits, the subs, and Brim for freaking 12-month subs, you crazy man. Thank you very much, and really appreciate that. And who are we raiding? Who do you want to raid?
Miserable G's on.
Thanks for everyone that's hosted as well. Really appreciate anyone who hosts and raids, all your love and everything. Just thanks a lot. You're the reason we do this.
I don't want to pick someone to raid. I don't know. There's loads
Well,
of
a lot of people.
Well, I'll be up in just a little bit.
Who is the? No, we hosted you last. We can't keep hosting you, HC. We love you.
Oh, you can. No, you can. You just got to break your own rules.
Try picking someone small, someone who's.
Well, don't pick me because I'm big. Like, oh yeah, I'm
huge.
You know,
Rocky's is streaming.
You're
Rocky's streaming Overwatch.
Like a dwarf or something.
Where's Grokis? Is he on?
Oh,
he's on, but he's streaming Overwatch.
Who wants to watch Overwatch? Ugh.
No, that's not happening.
What
about
Space?
arbitrary
Star Citizen.
Arbitrary
Sketch.
sketch.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Do that.
He's a good guy.
Let's give it to the little guy.
222 followers as
Oh,
well.
he's got those stupid cat thing headphones on, hasn't he?
Who?
That's apparently a deal breaker.
He doesn't like.
Oh, we can't host him. He's got those stupid headphones on. Oh, I just can't take it.
Forget
I'm
it.
pretty sure he's a good guy. He's a good guy.
Oh, I think we
He also
rated him
does love
before. Yeah,
D&D.
we'll rate him. That's fine.
There you
I
go.
think we've done it before, so there we go.
It's alright. They're not much different. My headphones are rubbish.
And then anybody, for those of you
They
who
can't be any worse
tolerate
than
those
Max with his
headphones-
fluff coming out. So
I know, right? I know, right? Very shallow of me.
next time, can you host the person that is hosting the show? Well, who's host? Oh, what? Host myself? You mean?
There you go. Done. That's the joke.
Anyway, yeah. Well, boom. That went right over my head. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next Monday. If you don't watch any of the other shows, goodbye. Take care. And follow all these guys. Follow everybody. Follow them.
Follow it.
There we go.
Follow-
And we're out.
Yeah.